Hello and welcome back to Upstate New York. I am Carson Cass, joined tonight again by Ryan Blankenhorn. It's week 5 of the Valorant season. Syracuse searching for the first win of the season, Ryan.
Yeah, Carson, they're looking for that once more here. Obviously, last week, not really what they wanted to look for, but they have another chance at it again this week here against Baylor. And at the end of the day, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, let's take a little look at last week against Ohio State, the defending second-place team. Right now, they're looking kind of primed. They're number 1 in the standings. Talk a bit more about that later. But Syracuse really struggled, and especially early, had a very rough time here on Corrode.
Yeah, I mean, they had some good kills there, Carson. They were doing a good job. I mean, you saw some really good plays from a lot of these players. Mabugi, the sub, coming in, playing. We'll see him again tonight, by the way, right? Had some really good plays as well. Stomp performing really well. Monster really showcasing himself as that freshman on the team, making himself known. And, you know, they had some good plays, and they had some beautiful plays, but then they got onto this Haven map where things sort of just started to fall apart, and they weren't able to get the value that they really wanted to. But you cannot deny the gunplay and the Bucky play that I just love watching that.
Yeah, and with Vito coming in this week, it'll be really interesting to see. Syracuse, for the first time, basically has a more fundamental Valorant game they are playing. You can expect to see Vito every time. If there were agent bans, I'm pretty sure you'd never see Vito. But Syracuse will have to do that. It's going to be one of the keys tonight. This team needs to get out of that just don't lose mentality and try and get into a we can win. This is going to be one of their quote-unquote easier opponents on the schedule. Take a little look at the standings. They sit about 7. We'll run through them really quick, but Syracuse still at the bottom of the conference looking for their first win. Ohio State 1, Boise State trailing with 2, Utah 3, and Michigan State 4. All the teams that Syracuse has played so far, they have yet to play the entire right side. Baylor at 7 going to be the first they take on.
Yeah, and this is really where Syracuse can start to bring themselves back into this bracket here, or into this competition here, and it's going to be hard. I mean, Syracuse, they haven't really started their season off the way they've wanted to, and now it really does come down, you know, you're going up against the 7th ranked seed, you know, Baylor, and you really need to find your footing back into this. Obviously, you've gone up against some of the harder schools, right? Ohio State, Boise State, Utah, Michigan State. I mean, it's all the teams on the left side there, like you said, Carson. It's going to be the harder teams, right? Moving into some of these other schools, this is your time to find that game again, and also just to get yourself a win on the board.
Yeah, Syracuse really looking to do that. They lost last week to Ohio State. The week before that, they found their way a little bit against Utah, but crumbled towards the end. Week before that was a rout against Boise State, and the start of the season looked really good. A Game 1 win against Michigan State, followed by a Game 2 loss and a Game 3 loss in a very close matchup. I think this team is better than they appear, but there's some subs going around. Drago will be back on the roster after last week, and Jono will be out for the remaining of the season, and Mobugi will have a permanent spot on this roster. It's going to be key for this Orange squad to start learning how to play together, and with a roster fully set in place now, they can really start doing that. But the key to this one is going to be Pretz.
Yeah, it really is, Carson. I mean, Pretz is going to make really the difference for this team and, you know, for this entire game going forward, right? He is the captain, right? And he's chilling, right? He's having a good time. And that's the thing with Pretz. He is the most composed player, arguably here, Carson, in the entirety of the Syracuse teams. I mean, he just knows how to keep it calm and keep it chill. And he's able to always put up those very high kill counters in every single game that they play. And it's going to be the key tonight for him to continue that forward, like you said, right, with more of this permanent roster, right? Drago coming back in, Mabugi staying permanent for at least the rest of this semester, right? It's going to be a big change, but a change that could be very good for this team. But Pretz, as the captain, is going to need to lead that team to victory.
He's an applied data analytics major, and it certainly looks like that. Pretz is the only player on the Syracuse team with an above 1 KD. Yeah, it's 1.03 is where it sits right now. Pretz has a 12.8 kills per average with a 12.3 deaths per average. It's been a rough season for the Syracuse Orange. But this is where they turned it around against these squads that aren't as good as, you know, playing the Boise States and Michigan States of the world, for lack of better terms. I guess the Ohio States now we can really talk about. That program has been on the rise, as we talked a little bit about earlier this week. Monday night, Rocket League lost a really close one to Baylor, 3-1. Currently, right now, they're trying to fight for their spot in the CRL, the second portion of the fall season, I believe, for them. Trying to fight for that. They're hoping to make it to midnight tonight. As once that midnight oil strikes, it means you've made it. So see what they can do. Overwatch last night beat Baylor 3-0. So it's a 1-1 series. But this Baylor squad has got some real talent on it, and Truth is definitely one of those players. I mean, Truth will beat the brakes off of you. Absolutely insane pace from this Baylor squad. but it's just going to be a really, really high-paced thing. I mean, Baylor leads the conference in kills and deaths.
Yeah.
Has a negative KD at that. They lead the conference in deaths by, just about 7 and are tied for kills with Boise State. But this squad is going to be so good tonight, and we'll have to see how the pace can handle it and how this orange squad can handle that pace.
Yeah, talking on that, Carson, right, with these players on Baylor, right, Truth is really going to be one to really look out for. And, when you go into that, Leno as well is going to be a player to look out for tonight on the side of Baylor. And these are two players that are going to put up high numbers. They're going to put up high kills. And then you have players on the side of Syracuse, right, Pretz and Stomp being some of those players that really put up those high numbers. And that's what it's going to come down to, the sort of the battle of those 4 players. And the rest of the team, right, it really is going to be, can you shut down these big fraggers for the other side? And if you can, then stabilizing yourselves. We see a lot of times Syracuse, they have good passive play on those thrifty rounds, and a lot of times that is really held back, right? Mabugi, a player that, recently they were just at a LAN and had some really, really good killing potential there. Was a very, very smart player we saw up against last week, and now it's a player that, you keep those mechanics up there, and in my opinion, sort of Mabugi has this fundamental advantage. I mean, he's got experience in the Tier 1 version of Valorant and of Overwatch. He has that coaching experience. He knows how to play around this game. And now it's just matching that with the mechanics a little bit as well, and sort of keeping some of these fraggers on a leash a little bit, right? Players like Pretz, players like Stomp, who can sometimes get a little overzealous and they get engaged a little bit too much, right? Mabugi sort of taking that more position to say, hey, look, back up, get your 2 like I know you can, and let's stabilize so we can take this next fight. I think that's going to be crucial, especially as we see him sort of morph into this team a little bit more.
Yeah, Truth. And if you're looking at our advanced analytics here, it's a really tough one. 78% of the time, he earns a kill, an assist, or some sort of survivability or some sort of damage, averaging 182.8 damage per round. I mean, this guy is a sledgehammer. There is nothing you can do. There is no way you can get around it, but they do rely heavily on util, so it's going to be a situation of, can they figure this out? Can this Baylor squad get around Vito? And can they use Vito to their advantage? It's going to be the kind of wild card, but the most important one. It's going to be your main chess piece tonight for both squads. You have to find a way to play it, and you have to have somebody who can play it by themselves. And to be honest, I think tonight Pretz has got to play Vito.
Yeah, I agree, Carson. I think if either you have Pretz on the Vito or you have Pretz on that Viper. I think we see a lot of skill and a lot of prowess coming out from those characters. I think the Soba is possible as well, but I think honestly Pretz is going to stick over to one of those two agents. And Carson, we mentioned it a couple times. We've teased it in the past few broadcasts. I think we need to talk about Vito a little bit, right? Just keep in mind, right, we're still adapting. A lot of these teams are still adapting to this new patch of that signature ability cooldown nerf, sort of really making it very difficult. 45 seconds, 50 seconds, 60-second cooldown time on a lot of these signature abilities, and making the game sometimes a lot faster paced and sometimes a lot slower paced and a lot more gunplay based. And so Syracuse is a gunplay team, and they've gotten a lot of value off of how they play some of these. So keeping that sort of in mind, we also talk about Vito a little bit. This character, this agent that, very, very interesting. So really quick overview how this character works, right? So 2 TP abilities, kind of like Chamber, sort of morphs into like a gelatin type substance and sort of disappears. I don't fully know the invincibility or time on that, because there's an animation to it that takes some time. I don't know if you can get shot during that, so that's something to keep in mind going forward, right? He has sort of a Reyna eye, if you will, that acts as a ability shutdown ability. So you hold it out there and it can get shot, but when you activate it, there's a radius that can then shut down all abilities that go near it. So that's something to keep an eye on. You can put that, like I said, like a Reyna eye, anywhere, short distance, but you can put it anywhere and you can keep it there long term. He has sort of a grenade type thing that sort of sits and can do damage as well as stun the enemies, so something to keep in mind as well. And then his ultimate. His ultimate is going to be the big one. Evolution, really no better name to have. This is an ability that we've made jokes about, Carson. Just to start off, if you activate it at the start of the round, it stays the entire time you are alive. There is no go away time to this ability. It stays the entire time. And also, you take 0 damage, 0 stun, 0 CC, 0 anything from anything that is not a bullet. If it is a bullet, you take damage. Otherwise, nothing else. And I know there are a lot of people testing out what works on him. I don't know if the chamber gun, the chamber Tour de France, that ultimate, I don't know if that works or not.
It has to work.
You would assume so.
The ability is a bullet.
Exactly. So that may be something to look out for. I don't think we'll see chamber tonight, but it's possible, right? Killjoy turret can still do damage to Vito in his ultimate, but things like Raze's ultimate ability, Breach's ultimate ability, no stun, no damage done from either one of those. So this character literally has a Mario invincibility star for that time when that ultimate is. It's 7 points to activate, though.
The Lion does not concern himself with Raze rockets any longer. Vito is such a good character, and it's going to be the evolution for the name of the ult is a very good way to describe it. I mean, it's going to push this game forward in a different direction, a far more counter-strikey direction, I'm going to mention.
Yeah.
Because the abilities take forever now. You have a character that turns abilities off. I mean, when your ability gets taken by Vito, it's going to be the worst feeling in the world, because now you're like, I gotta wait 6 business days to get my stuff back, and it's a Thursday. That's like 8 days.
You don't got a prime delivery on that one. And,
no, you don't.
You know, one thing I want to see the interaction between KO Ultimate and Vito, right? Because KO Ultimate can stop you from using any of your abilities, but if you're a Vito in your Vito Ultimate and you take no sort of effect from any ultimate, does that mean that Vito and ult can use util? There's still a lot of things that we don't know about this character. Obviously, these players spend hours upon hours upon hours sitting in these practice lobbies, sitting in these scrims, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. But it's something to keep out for, right? Vito, now that they are playable, is a character that you are going to probably see and have to look out for, right? So we've talked about this. Vito is a Sentinel, by the way. I think we kind of briefed over his role. Vito is a Sentinel, and so going into that, typically the Sentinel player we've seen so far has been Monster. Sometimes we also see Stomp, like on the Vice, right?
Yeah.
So we may see one of them try to pick it up just because it is a Sentinel, but Vito can be played very Initiator-like, which is why Pretz may feel very comfortable, especially we've seen his Sova before. I still think we're not going to see many duelists here, Carson. It's just the way this works. And I think that really this is going to determine where that meta is going to shift. I think we see this double Sentinel, double Controller, and then that single Initiator composition I think is going to be very, very powerful. If you run that duelist, like I said, I know not a very good agent outside of on Corrode, but Waylay has that Initiator ability that it can be very strong.
Yeah, and Vito isn't immune to all debuffs. It doesn't matter. It quite honestly does not matter if you have a KO ulting. It's not going to affect Vito. It's the same way as a Raised Rocket.
Interesting.
The ability's already set. It's kind of like like if you are actively throwing a nade, KO can't put the nade back in your pocket. Think of it as they already thrown flash grenade.
Just grabs it. Nope. Take it back.
KO can't turn it off. It's the real thing. It's a light switch that KO can't reach at a certain point. And it's going to be really interesting. I wonder if it's going to bring KO fully out of the meta. KO's kind of been on that back end for a while, and Vito does his job.
Yeah. And on that, Vice as well, right? With that ultimate, it stops you from using your primary. You could have Vito sit on a site by himself and pop ult. Now that Vice gets no value with the ult if you're trying to 1v1, he's like, oh, well, I'm going to keep my primary gun anyways. There's a lot of interactions that Vito really just says, nope, I don't care. And it's going to be something very powerful tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, in 3 weeks' time, we'll be talking about how Prime Vito felt like and just bad generally. But we'll have to just see how that goes overall. I don't think this is going to last the way that we think it's going to for a while. I think Vito will be nerfed in the ground, but also it might be the direction they're heading, and they might nerf Vito a little bit, but they might also nerf abilities that Vito counters a lot. Yeah,
there's really is a lot. That Vito is a unique character to Valorant and is an agent that really you never would have expected them to create, right? It's not an agent that you say, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's something that, Riot could come up with. No, Vito is very unique and is going to change the game, but, there's no better way to change the game than with an agent like that after a patch like the one you just made to signature cooldowns, and that is something that all of the teams in the PEC, all the teams who play Valorant are going to have to be very, very cautious of. And I'm curious to see, who picks up the sticks on veto for Syracuse, as well as for Baylor.
I'm going to make a prediction for Baylor. It's going to just probably because you want the guy best with gunplay. It might be Truth.
Okay.
But also you have to acknowledge the Truth is a duelist player.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not going to switch. Probably going to just let your guy do his thing in the best way. But I think it's going to be Leno. That's kind of my prediction. Leno, very high assist count. Kind of sits around that 17 and 16 mark almost all game. Gets a lot of kills. Still very aggressive. This Baylor squad plays full 4 feet forward before they have even 2 feet down. They
5 duelists. Here we go.
They are head over their heels in an absolutely just Ouroboros way. They will never stop over pushing. They will never stop being aggressive. This Baylor squad is a completely new look for the Orange. They are beatable for this Orange squad. I mean, they're a tough team to beat overall. And I think the teams that have played them have really just gotten fortified in their defenses and realized that, hey, if we don't move against Baylor, if we're on the offense, they're going to still come to us at some point. Baylor wants to come get you in spawn. Baylor wants to go after you. And on the defense, they are on the offense still, too. It's one of those weird situations where you're playing a team that doesn't really like stopping pressing W. They play together a lot, leave Truth alone, and it doesn't really matter. Truth is just kind of that good. Or a lot of rounds go... They've had multiple rounds go full aces where Truth goes to one site, the entire 4-stack goes the other way. Everyone on the 4-stack goes down. Ace wins the round without the 4-stack getting an elimination.
Yeah, and that is sort of something to keep in mind there, Carson, is with these players, right, going aggressive like that, it's something that Syracuse has begun to adapt to, right? They've understanded that, playing passive does do a little better for them, right? So, if you really do wait for Baylor to get aggressive, right, and you are set up and you're ready for that fight, it's playing second. It's that reactive play style that is a challenge in any video game, in any title to play, the reactive play style. Coaches across all titles say it's the most complicated play style to perfect, and it's true, right? As someone who coached Overwatch last year, it's the same deal. Playing reactive, playing second is hard, Carson. And that is sort of what you have to do when you're playing passive, especially when you're on that defense, sort of waiting for that aggression from Baylor, right? If Syracuse plays passive, they play safe, it's like, okay, we can't let Baylor control tempo, but we also want to go second, right? And it's a really fine line of control without giving that tempo for free. And players like Truth are going to be those players to look out for who are going to say, I don't care, I'm taking tempo the way I want to take it.
Yeah, he's going to always force you to move around generally, gets a kill, assist, survives, or some sort of game improving method at some point, 70% of the time, like we mentioned, always in the stat sheet for the positive reasons. I mean, you just kind of have to expect them to be there no matter what. You have to expect, I think, in your mind, that Truth is going to take 2 players off the Orange every single time. That's how good they are. I mean, they're nearly averaging 200 damage per game. They're second in the conference in average damage per game, behind only Superman of Ohio State, who we played last week, and Ohio State's Hamburger, who we played of last week.
Yeah, and we are
Utah, excuse me, for Superman.
All good. And we're starting to get into our first map here. Haven is going to be the first map. Syracuse, they've had an interesting history on this map, but I've been told that they are no longer doing that C push. And that is frankly what I care about, because that push was rather scary.
No veto?
This is interesting. No veto coming out from either team, at least not yet. Drago was hovering at first. Pretz on the Killjoy. Monster on Sova. Drago hovering Omen. Double duelist. Neon and Yoru coming out from the side of Baylor. Truth insta-locking the Yoru. Leno, that other fragger for the team, hovering the Jet. Cypher, Sova, and Omen being hovered. So the difference here, the Cypher and the Killjoy. This is interesting, Carson. Last week, I mentioned, and, this could be a testament to my intelligence, but, I mentioned no duelists.
3 sites.
Ah, yes. That is something to keep in mind. that is something to keep in mind here. But, you know what? I'm not gonna question it, right? This double duelist comp, both teams choosing to run it here. I think duelist is going to be scary to play. I think it's still finding its way here, but there's a lot of killing potential to them.
It kind of neutralizes it when both teams are running double duelist.
Exactly,
then you're essentially kind of having a verbal agreement to say, you know what, I don't want to play in the new meta. We're all going to just pretend it's 2023, I believe, was the double duelist meta at its peak. It's going to be interesting.
No veto is interesting.
No veto is interesting.
That's what I'm curious about here, Carson, is seeing no veto on either team. And so we're going to have to sort of see how it works, if they choose to run that later or not. I do believe Abyss is still out of the map pool, though, so just keep that in mind as we go forward here. Both these squads, though, looking to get sort of something to bring themselves back up. Baylor wanting to go 2 and 3 here. Syracuse getting themselves on the board, getting that first win, and they are starting off aggressive, Carson.
Yeah, Baylor really kind of getting pushed into that corner immediately. You see that Syracuse squad, Mobugi, going very far forward into that AB site. They're waiting, though. Stomp going to go back up into that corner. Going to be staying at mid, but overall for Syracuse, they're waiting for a delayed push. Baylor pretty slow off the start here. Maybe have tuned down that aggression a little bit, but they've gone pretty fast. But the normal thing is that they just go together.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Baylor not getting too aggressive. I mean, they're on a split right now, keeping tabs on where they want to go, but they're looking like they're on A, right? One through left side, on to right as well. And Util going to start coming out here. Boogie looks but doesn't find a shot anywhere. Everyone on the side of Baylor really just taking their time, something we expected a little bit more aggression from them, especially from players like Truth, who are going to be able to get really good on that killing potential, but we haven't seen it quite yet. As we approach 35 seconds, you know, the side for Baylor, they need to start getting a little aggressive here as they're going to start pushing. Stomp sees 4. This is going to be good for Syracuse to relocate here, but they cannot panic.
Mobugi gets one in the form of Leno. Truth gets Monster. It's a trade-off rip. One in the smoke. Stomp gets one. Hobby looking the wrong way. Back on the other side. Truth gets 2. Now it's 3. Truth goes down to Drago. That's a big kill right there. 2-on-2. Down goes Drago. 2-on-1. Pretz has to find a way to get it. One watching. Pretz gets 1 on the killjoy. Pretz gets the last. And a clutch to start it off for the Orange.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight, Carson, is we're going to see a lot of these clutches. Players like Pretz, players like Truth. Truth dropped 3 there at first, right? Pretz comes in, finds some kills of his own. Very, very good to bring themselves back into that. But it's something to keep in mind, right? Because this is where things are going to get dicey. Players like Truth are going to walk down and kill 3. And that is very, very scary to think about, right? So I'm curious to see really where these two teams are going to play in terms of this clutch potential. Pretz setting up over here on this C site, that solo sentinel, something we talked about a little bit last week and how they sentinel over here, secure this site, looking for some aggressive play on the C site. Try to slow rotate up onto C.
They slowly push forward. Pretz sees 1, backs off. They're going to wait, try and defend the site. Moving forward, there's the jet there. Goes down 1, Kings. Pretz is 3, goes down to Derry. Truth goes down in all of that. Moving forward, looking for Javi. There, Stomp gets him. Wall planting. Bad move by the Bears. Moving forward once more, and it's a nearly flawless for the Orange. Pretz the only one to go down. Got 3 kills in the process, and a good start for the Orange, 2-0. Might I mention, we should mention this. Vito is not playable. As per standard PEC rules, he will be playable once Abyss comes back in the rotation and Abyss is ruled back.
Okay, good to know. Alrighty, I was going off the 2-week rule, but that is good to know. So no veto. So ignore everything we said about him earlier. Or keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind for next week.
Yeah,
but,
keep that in mind.
We only had to wait for a reply I sent, or a reply to a DM I sent 2 days ago. It is what it is. It is what it is. 2-0. Orange have themselves the first lead of the season since Michigan State.
Looks like Baylor pushing down through C, a lot more aggressive here, and this is what we more expected to see from a team like Baylor. Truth and Leno already on point, and Javi gonna find one immediately.
That is a 1 bullet spray into the smoke and just happened to get him right in the head. That is a really rough start. As Mobugi trying to peek with that outlaw. It's 2-0. Full buy for this Baylor squad. Syracuse sticking with what they bought second round.
The flank coming out from Stomp here finds 1 onto Leno. Truth knows he's down here, though, and that's something to be weary of. There's Monsters sitting in garage. Trades go either side. Derry and Pretz fall, respectively.
Monster is lethal with that Guardian. They get 1, but on the left, Javi peeks at the right time. Mobugi gets them. Looking down long, Mobugi, what a spray! It's a hat trick, and the Orange are up 3 themselves.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. I mean, Syracuse winning on that double bye round. This is really good for them. This is what you want to see from Syracuse. You know, there's a couple of these times where that communication is a little bit scary, a little bit choppy, right? If you're Syracuse, you want to win these fights relatively dominantly. It's been a little close every time, but if you're Syracuse, you're happy with what you've had so far, and you've shut down players like Truth, who is already 4-3, but Pretz 5-2, and that's what you're talking about. It's really going to come down to these two players fragging out on both sides, and who's going to be able to win those trades at the end of the day.
We talk about Mobugi and their technicality. They are a very intelligent player and always seem to find themselves in the right spot. That's one of those moments there. That's what you just love to see. The right aggression in the right spot. Baylor very calm on that defense, on that offensive side, but really no split pushes at all. They're all working together. That's a very quick push. Truth has that ultimate already in round 4. That's what we're talking about in terms of just how good they are. Back forward. Monster going to get that recon dart as the Syracuse Orange prepare themselves for a little retake here on that C site, one of the harder sites to retake with so much open space. It's all about gunplay and positioning. And a killjoy from the Syracuse squad. Good move by Pretz. Everybody has to evacuate if they so choose. Leno gets one, but Pretz does get one in the process. It's a trade in garage. Moving forward, there's 2 down there. Mobugi gets 1, continues that hot streak. It's 5 kills in this life for Mobugi. As they move forward through that defender, Killjoy trying to get more on that other end, playing that duelist now after last week, mainly focusing on Sentinel. Trying to get out of that way through the spray and goes down. Kings gets 2, but not the one defusing as they play body block and the Orange defuse. What a smart play. They just lined up like a clown car and just took bullets for the guy who was defusing.
Yeah, and you know, I really liked the play at first, right? Pretz putting down that lockdown. It forced Baylor to get aggressive, right? They had 2 options there, either back up or get aggressive, and they got aggressive. Mabugi is able to find that value, even though Pretz falls, even though didn't get that end all value. They got the value as a team, and now you see Mabugi on the top of that kill board, and that is a great thing to see from this team, that they're adapting to one another, that they're playing well with one another. 4-0 for Syracuse right now. I believe this may be the biggest lead they've had, if I'm correct, all season.
Yeah, that's not true because they were up 8-0 on Michigan State.
Never mind.
Haven. That one was not streamed due to issues. Technically, Mobugi gets another, continues the hot streak, but goes down at that B site, excuse me. But, you know, we talk so much about how this team really needs to rebound. Truth at 4 kills is such a good sign on that defensive side. Shutting a player down is something you're looking for the Orange tonight, and they've done that so far, but can they continue as full buys come out for both squads? Going to be the Cypher ult for the side of Baylor.
Stomp is just in the back line, in the spawn here, looking for something. Isn't able to find anything, though. Shoots through the smoke. Pretz takes down Derry with a nice headshot. 2 bullets to his name. It's a double flank here coming out from Stomp and Drago, as now it looks like the rest of Baylor is 2 members of Baylor are able to walk onto B site. There have been some picks on either side here, and now they're going to have to run into Monster, who's watching this flank. And oh!
The elite Valorant timing is they only move forward in a equal and opposite reaction. It's one with that recon bolt. Monster now playing more Sova, we're seeing. Puts that shock dart out, gets Javi. That's a very good job by Monster, moving up top, making noise, trying to keep the distraction away and keep it up on top of mid. As there's one coming down, trying to go in from one more. Should have recon darted at the top, but has themselves a good little recon dart where they know where they're at now, at least in terms of that. One more shock dart, they get a huge chunk of damage, but was a little too aggressive as Monster pushes 2 wide. Stop moving forward, Stop gets 1, Stop gets 2, and it's a 2-on-1 comeback for the Orange in the bottom half of that. As back in the other site, one went down, but the Syracuse Orange up 5-0. And I said earlier that they had not been up since Michigan State. I apologize. They had not been up 2 rounds since Michigan State.
Yeah, and this is what you want to see from Syracuse. I mean, they're getting their kills, they're getting their trades, right? Some of these baits are a little scary, but their value. But this is what I'm talking about with a lot of these players sort of dying. Right, looking at 1,100 credits there, and so. It is something to keep in mind is, you know, as you keep dying through these rounds, you do start to lose some of that money. And so, you know, if you're Syracuse, you're trying to win these a little bit cleaner, but by any means, you're glad you're winning these. I mean, you're already at a spot where, you know, if you win this round, at minimum, you go into the half even.
Yeah, you can see the difference in mentality here in terms of you thinking, I just don't lose this round, just don't lose this fight, as Truth gets one with Pretz. Truth, an operator user. Mainly
this could be
Mobugi in the right spot, gets one. Mobugi was great with the Bucky last week on Haven. Right now, working it with the judge. Here, can he be jury and executioner, or can he get jury and executioner here? There's up that wall. Thinking about it once more, really, really hungry for a kill, but Mobugi is patient enough, knows when to do so and when not to. Just going to stay in that corner and wait as Baylor slowly peeks up towards that B site. In window, Monster found way too many people. Think of a Monster here, you just want to hit your X at a certain point to see if they're rotating, and nearly a disaster for Monster as they peek out to that left side. Goes down, Truth is waiting there. One more time on the other site. Towards A as Drago gets one. Leno misses almost every shot. Same with Drago. Through the smoke. Derry sitting right there. Can the orange spoil them? Back on that other site, pushing backwards through the smoke. Derry makes the better decision. Doesn't turn to curdled milk as Stomp gets Truth in that other end, winning that Yoru duel so far, but now it's a one-on-one. Stomp blinds everyone, including himself, but gets the 3K anyway. Orange up 6-0.
That is a beauty to see, and you get the operator. Got a little scared there. Truth dropped 3 with that operator, but not quite enough as Syracuse is able to pull that one out. 4 ults to their name as well, so they're in a good spot. They can get aggressive with Mobugi if they so choose, right, with the finger of death, but not quite going to be unhappy with this. I mean, you're up 6-0. You've got the financial advantage. You're in a good spot, right? And everyone's in a really good, killing spot. I do want to mention the Odin coming back out. We've seen a lot more Odin recently here, Carson. I mean, just in Valorant as a whole, and it's something very interesting to see. Stomp a little aggressive with this operator. Gonna try to get one, and if it's on Truth, that would be perfect.
Truth not playing so well right now, has been kind of not being able to get their trades, or at least one.
Ooh, the Jet Knives.
Their Jet right, yeah, I was gonna say their Jet right now on Knives. You can see that through the wall right now. Good angle from the observer to see what's going on in 2 different parts of the map right now. Stop waiting for one as Lego moves forward onto that B site. Nobody there right now as Drago waiting for one. Could be a clash. It's a game of chicken. Drago throws it towards the wall. Truth knows they're there now, but Truth right there. They find each other. Some damage onto Drago, who has no more shield. It goes down. Can't get a shot on Truth. Full health, or they can, excuse me. Got one to the shoulder. Truth down to 71. Back towards that other end. Stomp gets caught a little bit as Baylor takes over A site. Everybody moves in very slowly. As Stomp's barrel peeked out there. Gonna go ahead and use Dimensional Drift.
Like this.
I was gonna say it's a very good idea. It basically tells everyone where they are. And that's a good start. Truth gets Pretz, but Javi gets stopped, and the ult gets nobody, but damages everybody on the team right now on site. It's Monster versus the world, and 100 bullets to their name, 20 for each remaining bear. Creeping forward, knows they're there because that shot gets one. Shouldn't have shot, Javi. Goes down anyway. Truth on that other end gets nailed, but they're just going to save. The Odin is more expensive. The Negev of Valorant. Or excuse me, the M249.
Us against the world, and Monster and his Odin are going to take a step back. No need to lose all that money, and honestly, you're fine with that, right? 1 round traded for the 6 that you've already gotten. That's perfectly fine. You save the money, and that's okay, right? I did like that play, though, coming out from Stomp and Monster, right, with that Yoru ultimate and with that Sova Hunter's Fury, and so it could have been very, very good. Could have been very, very clean. I think if you had one more member there ready to pinch, could have gotten the value that they were looking for, but I really did like it. Syracuse on this Thrifty round, and they've been really good on Thrifties overall. This is sort of where they specialize in that patience play, and Thrifty and an Odin. That's what we're looking at.
I was going to say that is an absurd Thrifty lineup. It's a Bucky 2-3 classics and an Odin. One of these things is not like the other.
Mobugi is going to drop 3 with the Bucky again. Just watch.
More like Mobucky, man. Just so good with those shotguns. I mean, Mobugi thinks he's playing Doom, and he might as well be. He is just dominating on that end. Really, anywhere close, Mobugi's going to win every fight.
Oh, no.
Leno was about 1 step away from finding out about Mobugi. Forward there, Mobugi going to move into that left side, still hold that angle. Pretty consistent with them. As the Baylor Bears slowly take over A site, Drago is forced off as 4 go on to site, and this is what Baylor's going to do. They're going to play as a team all night. Brett's creeping forward with that Sheriff. Saw the barrel. They don't move too far forward, but the shot there from his teammate's not going to give him the element. Surprise, goes down with the Sheriff, pulls out the Ghost, or the Phantom, excuse me, at the wrong time. Moving forward on that right side, trying to get one through the wall. Stomp gets one, but Pretz gets Stomp's trade. Kings goes down, Mobugi goes back on site and gets caught. Oh my goodness, playing cowboy. Drago with the Sheriff gets Javi. Orange defusing through that other A-long site. Here comes one, that's the hologram. They get it correctly, and Monster through with the Jotun gets Truth. And that is 7-1 for the Orange.
That was beautifully played from everyone on that team, from the patience from Mabugi to the play on the flank from Pretz to the shot from Drago, predicting where that TP was going to go. I mean, this was just phenomenal from Syracuse. One shot there, gets the gun, throws that out, finds the blind, finds another. Trades go out, but they stay up. Drago, no fear, flicks it back, finds the headshot, and Syracuse able to find this round on the side of that spike defusal. That is what you want to see going forward for the rest of Syracuse. Right, Carson? This is a clean round. You only lost 2. You're up on the money now. You're up on the rounds. This is what you want to see more of from Syracuse, and you want to see it consistent. You're up 7-1. Keep it going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I was watching a Western. Syracuse so good there. C-site immediately taken by Baylor. It's going to be an instant trade through the smoke as Mobugi goes down, but gets Truth in the process. That's a good consolation prize. It's basically two for one deal. Pratt's peeking. It's now a 4-on-4, excuse me, with that trade.
Yeah, no more Cypher cages to use as smokes here for the side of Baylor as Drago's on this flank. Someone on the left, though. That trip is going to be something that Drago needs to be aware of. Is he going to run through it? Or, oh, this TP is going to get him.
No.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's a really rough. But Pretz has got 2 on site. Kings gets 2 themselves in that back end. Terry gets 1 more. Pretz gets a 3rd. Pretz has to find a way to defuse. Needs a 4K to win this. And essentially, just going to play hole in the wall with the Sova ult, which only shoots once. Pretz defusing. He's going to try and get half and move back up. Derry right there. Pretz nails him. 4, but they run out of time with the spike. Needed to hold the fuse there, but just went for the glory because it was not happening.
Yeah, and you know, it's not bad, right? You lose that round, but it's okay because killing off that last member there is going to keep them a little bit lower on that money, right? They can't save that gun, they cannot save that Vandal, and so they have to rebuy it here. You take a look at Baylor's economy here, and they're forcing some stuff, right? You see a Guardian Light Shield, you see Vandal Light Shield, some members able to full buy, but 0 credits for players like Kings, 500 for Javi, right? This is a big buy for Baylor. If they lose this, they're going into a 9-2 situation where they're going to be down on that economy. That's something to keep in mind. Stomp immediately playing in the back left of this A engage, going to keep themselves in a nice little flank position for them to use later. Obviously, that TP is out if they need to, but already putting themselves in a position to get some good kills. Mabugi as well over here on B site.
Mirror ults on the Omen with a Killjoy ult and a Cypher ult respectively for both of them. Cypher on the side of Baylor. As it's going to be a full push again onto C. They move through Garage, move through Long at the same time. And Pretz is in another sticky situation. They get another one. Has continued with these trades on C. They get 2. Pretz looking for another, but the smoke has got Pretz in a chokehold as Javi gets them there. Mobugi gets 1 in the form of Derry, moves forward. Talk about aggression. The Orange have found a good medium with Mobugi. Monster shooting off that right side, trying to get that recon dart. It's behind the 2 players. They might be able to find something there.
Oh, I like this.
As Mobugi uses the ability to run to their advantage. Monster throws down a shock. Stomp gets 1 in the form of Kings, and Stomp gets another. 2 for Stomp. And the Orange keep the Baylor Bears at 2. 8-2 is your score.
I like this. I like this, Carson. I like what I'm seeing. Syracuse is playing this well. And on top of that, right, players like Mabugi on that rotate, right? Did not stay in Garage, did not keep trying to, you know, just shoot back and forth, you know, at nothing. Went for the rotate. So even if Syracuse went down there, Mabugi had that pull around C long if needed. And that's what you want to see, right? Pretz finding those 2 at the start as well as we just saw. Crucial for Syracuse to be up on the trades in the start. And now you look at this, right? Baylor is down on a Thrifty as they're facing 9-2. Syracuse doing a very, very good job here. And you have players like Pretz, 15-7. Stomp 11-5, Mabugi 10-7. Beautiful from these players right now. Quick little scare as you do see Stomp goes down to Leno.
On the Thrifty, Leno wins that Western, and the standoff goes down. Truth goes down though to Mobugi, who has just had that number of the bear there. Monster gets 1 more. It's another trade, 3-on-3. Orange trying to keep away, not trying to go for a retake here with the lack of players. Gives them more space to work with, and Baylor going to back off of A. It's enough diversion. And a lack of damage for the Syracuse Orange on them is going to let them have that kind of upper hand here. Baylor still choosing where to go. Have to imagine it's going to be see-through garage. B just seems too open, but they're going to maybe try it. They're going to try it here with Frenzies. It's a thrifty round. Why not risk it all? Moboogie going to move forward because Moboogie is the most aggressive player on this Orange squad right now. Sees the plant, goes down, just didn't move forward enough, but didn't move left enough. Kind of I don't know where to position myself because I don't know where they are.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, you see that 2-on-3 here. Yep, there's the lockdown. Exactly as Pret should, right? Puts it down. Is going to be able to push all of Baylor off of sight here through the garage if Baylor chooses to do so.
They know
runs out, finds one.
Excuse me, they know where Pretz is because of that Cypher. Pretz gets 3! Hat trick! And the Orange are up 7 now. What a job from Pretz. Can you believe that? As they try and avoid the 9-3 curse this next round, going to give that ultimate point over to Pretz. As they're already almost back at Killjoy's lockdown.
Yeah.
I think now 2 points away.
And, you know, that's one of the things that I'm really liking, you know, what I'm seeing from Pretz right now on this Killjoy is, you know, he's not really using it to stop anyone. He's using it purely to force a rotate from Baylor. It's happened twice now. At one point, they got aggressive. They got punished. The other time, Pretz was like, all right, I know you're going to have to rotate out that way because you're not rotating near Drago. Peeks out of garage and finds 3 very easily. Look how calm he was during that play.
Not even a smile. This guy's just all business.
Just an average Wednesday for him.
Just an average Wednesday for Pretz. Best player statistically on this Orange squad in terms of KD ratio. And just about leads this team in every statistic because they are this flagship. Drago tried to teleport up, did not do that. That's a rough one. Because now you have to wait 35 minutes if you want to get that one back, unfortunately.
Very true, but it's okay. Drago sitting here on point, playing a little bit safe as the smoke goes off. Not going to be smoked off because Drago is on the low ground. So might find some value, but gets blinded. Derry finds him. Jobby goes to the plant here, but you're going to see a recon dart. Cypher Cage goes out. Stomp, running around with the dimensional drift.
Moboogie is like Cam Scattaboo, just always there W-keying and getting a player or two. Always finds that useful yards. Move forward, they're thinking they're not there. It's because very smart Yoru player having a Yoru off and tries to flash everybody, but can't do it. 3 for that other side, and Syracuse go down, or go up. I guess go down 9-3 is the real way to think about it because 9-3 curse is in existence, and it happens a lot here on Haven.
It does, yeah, Carson. That 9-3 curse, it's something you do have to be aware of, especially now that you are on this defensive side here. So I'm going to be curious to see. But, I mean, we take a quick look here as we switch sides at the previous half. I mean, this was just really good gameplay. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, Baylor, they weren't doing things wrong. It was just Syracuse was doing the right things, and this is what you sort of want to see. They came back from that LAN, I believe, last week, and they've made some really good changes, and it's been really, really working out for them as well, Carson. And so if you're Syracuse, this is sort of the squad that you expect to see. This is the squad that you know has the talent to be a really, really, really good team. And, you know, it really does come like on the back of players like Pretz, right, who are dropping 3 pieces, dropping 4 pieces, dropping 2 pieces. I mean, I don't think there's ever a time where Pretz is just dropping 1 when he's getting a kill, and that's what you want to see from these players.
Yeah, and you're talking about that double duelist meta, Moboogie, such a big part of that, and you have to love to see it. They were on that other end, but, I mean, goodness me, just what a start right there for that Syracuse squad. Up 9-3 right now, and now on this offensive side, offense is kind of, it's technically an offensive-sided map, but it kind of depends on the team you're playing.
Oh!
Pretz and that's in the Omen on the other side. Just exchange pleasantries. Both of them are now at basically 22 health. Not exactly what you're hoping for. You wanted at least something. Pretz going to peek first with the lower health. Basically going to be used as bait. King's right there. Tendency to shoot through smokes. See if Kings does it. No, backs off. They throw down Cypher Cage. Doesn't last too long in the orange. Have the ability to move forward. Moboogie making a lot of noise as Pretz basically is attempting an ambush. You're seeing this from Pretz's POV, which is going to be an important one here with that kind of setup. They have to move through Pretz to get onto site. Drago gets Truth in this pistol round as they wait to this other site. Javi and Stomp trade in garage. Stomp gets another who has just been absolutely elite. Moboogie gets the last, throws down Spike, and the Orange are up 10-3. Quicker than you can say onomatopoeia. Bang.
Wow, look at that. Carson, big words there. But 19-9, Carson. 19-9. and 9 is Pretz. 13 and 7 and 13 and 9 are Stomp and Mabugi right now. These players are on fire right now, and this is what you want to see, right? I mean, you have players like Truth, players like Leno, who are really big fraggers for the side of Baylor, but they just haven't been able to find that value. Syracuse, even when these players are getting those kills, the trade is immediately there, right? These players cannot get through that defense, something that we talked about a lot last week against Ohio State, or is, you know, working with those trades, finding that value, and that's something to keep in mind as we see Leno getting really aggressive, pushing through Garage, as well as, I believe, Truth, who's going to, teleport back over to B site.
Syracuse playing a very aggressive defensive squad, who is more aggressive on...
Oh my God!
What are we doing? Mobuki! Oh my goodness! I cannot even believe that. Got a kill in the millisecond they were alive while sliding. As Truth headshot them. Oh my goodness. I could not contain my excitement for that one.
I'm going to
Stomp with Mobugi's Bucky. This could be good luck. They move forward. There's one.
That's good luck!
Stomp collects 2 with 1 shot, and it's a 3-kid with the orange of 11.
It's the Mobugi Mabucky, and that's what you want to see on this map. That's twice we've seen the Bucky 3-piece. Oh, wow. If you're Syracuse, you're feeling good after that one. That one felt good.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes it's better to bait your teammates because you can both get shot with a Bucky. Stomp gets 2 and 1. A 2 birds with 1 stone deal.
And the Bucky's back.
And the Bucky is back. I think Mobugi should just play that because then you have more money and Mobugi's just awesome with the Bucky. So it's a win-win situation. You could buy a teammate almost every time.
True. Already going to push through this B site. Pretz watches through C Garage, takes out Leno with ease, and is now going to push over to B site here. 11-3. Syracuse in a great spot as well as on this buy. And, you know, it's going to force Baylor into a rough spot. Mabugi has full charge if he wants to go for something crazy again.
I mean, it's been just an absolute hammer down from Mabugi, who was way more aggressive last week, or way more aggressive this week than last week in every way, shape, and form. Very technical player. And has just been generally using that to their advantage. Neon's a great match for somebody looking to be more aggressive and somebody who's a little bit less, who's a little more technically skilled, who has that ability to use that movement in every way that they want. Mabugi is a contortionist in terms of movement in this game. They know every little inch and knows how to move everything correctly. Monster misses 1 there on top of that right side. They push forward either way. Mabugi moving in, going up. Walls come up for Mabugi.
Oh.
Top right, don't see Kings. Nobody saw Kings.
Wait.
Kings is not shooting, so they're waiting to see it. Kings gets 2,
wow.
and it's just a great trade. They stand up. Javi gets 1 in the form of Monster, and the Orange suddenly have Spike on C, and now don't. They tried to avoid it. They have been trying to avoid it. Pretz looking too far to the right. Goes down as Derry gets 1. But held on. Drago gets 1, but goes down anyway. Truth gets Drago in that back end, and the Orange find 11-4. Standing with that round 2 guns, they didn't have a full buy, but here they will have a full buy.
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing that happened there is, you know, Syracuse, they got on the point, but they didn't really, like, stabilize or clear every angle that they had to clear. I think they were still riding on that high from the Mobucky 3-piece, and that's just, you know what happens. It's going to stick. The rest of the season, that is going to stick, Carson. And, you know, Syracuse is going to look for this C push again, obviously looking for a full buy, both of these teams. But both these teams are in a situation where if you lose this round, you're going to be forced onto that Thrifty. If you're Baylor, this round is crucial for you to win.
They're going to start with the Dimensional Drift here. Stomp, one of the seniors on this squad, now down to 2, I believe, as they move forward. And just get on site, but Leno's there on the back end. They didn't check that top right section, and they get punished for it. Javi goes down, though. They've got 4 on C immediately. Truth gets Monster, and it's a dogfight. Truth gets 2, but Truth goes down. Pretz keeps that aggression going, and Pretz makes sure that door slams. Mabugi gets caught jumping, can't fire there, was waiting to stop that movement, and it's all up to Pretz now. They move back. It's a very well-timed movement away from Pretz, but gets caught by the alarm bot.
Oh.
I wonder if the recon drone saw them there.
Yeah, I think it
Doesn't
did.
look like it didn't, because Derry's not looking the right way.
Maybe not here. Pretz looking to ace clutch this one here, Carson, and feel good for him if they can. Going 12-4 is going to get spotted though. 40 seconds. Pretz doesn't have Spike. It's sitting over on C site, so he needs to make something happen or look for a save. But knowing Pretz, he's going to get aggressive. Not going to shoot the recon dart. I like this. It's going to keep him safe. Not going to get spotted. Turret's going to go down, but he's looking for Derry.
Moving forward, nobody looking the right way. has Kings, has to go the other way. Knows Darius there, but goes down. Pretz gets 3, needed an ace to win that one. Couldn't collect. Orange lose another round, second in a row. It was the first time tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, second time and first time tonight the Orange have lost 2 in a row. A dogfight early as they try and go back to C, which they said they weren't going to do. They weren't going to put their hand in that cookie jar, and they did. And the last 2 rounds they've played there, they've lost.
You know, in fairness, Carson, we haven't seen that really aggressive defense from them, and that was really something that I'm glad that we didn't see on that defense, is where they push really fast through C-site. On this attack, though, right, they're still okay. The 2 times they've lost here has been because they haven't cleared that corner on the top right on those logs, and I think that played a little bit into it. But lockdown available for Syracuse on this thrifty buy, just looking to sort of get some value. We've seen some really good shots coming out from these Sheriffs here, coming out from Syracuse. And as I say that, Pretz caught on the animation, and Truth takes them down. A great way for Baylor to start is that lockdown is no longer present.
Yeah, you have to just expect that Truth is going to be there as they get Drago. Here comes the more aggression from Truth, looking for more.
Wait, how'd Truth get a kill?
Truth got 4 now as they get all of them in that little A bottom section as they're getting aggressive. Mobugi the only one remaining. You would be surprised to know that the Orange are on offense here. Mobugi playing Metal Gear Solid here.
I mean, this is just...
Oh my goodness, goes full ring around a rosy with their Omen. And nobody on A, but they also don't have Spike. And I'm not sure why this Baylor squad isn't moving towards that way.
They're trying to find Mobugi, who has managed to snake around every one of Baylor's defensive players. And, you know, it's a 1-on-5 here. 5-person ace clutch for what Mobugi is looking for. No one's looking at this Spike. And this might be something for Mobugi. Gonna need to get aggressive here. Spike being watched now, though. So the second Mobugi will turn that corner, we'll have to fight for an engage.
Jet looks away from just a moment and gets punished for it. They look back as Mobugi gets one in the form of Leno. There's one there waiting, but goes down. Javi with the Guardian as the Guardian of A-side there. They go down and, for lack of a better term, is a sledgehammer just waiting for Mobugi.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, not much you can really do there, right? Baylor just watched every angle, but now Syracuse able to full buy for themselves and take this gunfight as they like to. And as we've seen from these players, you know, very, very good. Truth has really been putting up these numbers, though, has gotten a lot more value. Almost got that ace there, ended up getting 4. So, you know, something to keep in mind is this player is still one of those top fraggers for the side of Baylor. And, you know, you let them get that value, let them get those ones, and it's going to get very, very scary for you as Syracuse. But now they have these guns again. Mobugi getting aggressive over here onto ace site. Shots fired. Drago takes down Truth.
Neither Truth nor neither Truth nor Drago could really find a shot down there, and nobody gets anything other than Drago, who after 45 missed shots gets it between the both players. As it's just like that sometimes. When there's only a head to hit, for some reason your aim becomes like actually so terrible. It's so impressive how bad my aim becomes when there is less of a body to hit, because it's like I can hit a headshot on a guy who's fully there in front of my screen the whole way. As Derry does that, Stomp gets them there, but his party turns to spoiled milk, a split towards that left side between Mobugi and Pretz.
Yeah, Mobugi, I believe, maybe heard Javi sitting up there, but sort of looking there, scares away for a second. Javi finds one, traded out, will be from Pretz, and the Finger of Death comes out, finds one, the lockdown as well, and Syracuse just needs to find one to secure this round.
King's going to back up, using that as much as they can as it goes out, but we'll have to back off now, only with a Phantom as they back away. 37 health and 30 for Drago and Mobugi respectively. Just over half for the Cypher remaining as they push from that
Syracuse,
defender side.
They're just playing safe here. You know, they don't need to take these battles. They don't have to. Mobugi has some HP.
Will take that, though.
Yeah, Mobugi will
take that back.
It just keeps shooting, jiggle peeking through that corner.
I don't think he knows if Kings is up there. I think he just got scared and Drago was looking up. They definitely heard them moving up there as Kings goes down and turns to dust, unfortunately. Ashes to ashes as 12-6 is the score. Orange trying to avoid a 9-3 curse. Have found themselves, though, with a pretty good opportunity here on match point.
Oh, my. my. Pretz has 25 kills here. And as we take a look going forward, right, Syracuse has the money to buy here, except for Monster, who doesn't quite have the money. Unfortunately, like I said, this is what happens when you die in these rounds. You don't have the economy to come back and take that money for yourselves. I believe that buy was there. Yep, Stomp ends up going for the Bulldog. Truth has the operator on hand, and they have to invest some of these ultimates as well. You don't want to lose this game not using these ults. I think this recon coming out from a Cypher is going to be crucial for Baylor to really take it forward. Truth just walks through C long and finds Monster.
Yeah, you've seen that aggressive side come out of Baylor. They weren't really aggressive in that first half, which is pretty interesting because they are a team that is very aggressive. They play for kills.
Oh, okay.
And I guess Mobugi's just going to plant. You know what? Why not? Truth can stop, and Mobugi just runs past two people who saw them and literally did not shoot a bullet at him.
Mobugi is like a gnat that you just can't like slap out of the air.
I don't think most gnats have 12 gauge on hand. Pretz is there, gets one form of damage, shoots Kings through the wall, and it'll be down. But Spike never went down. Mobugi just picked it up and ran.
Yep. And I mean, that Cypher recon came in clutch there.
Gets Val timinged. Spike smoke comes out there. Mobugi notices too late, and it's a flawless for this Baylor squad, who brought it within 5 for the first time since round 5.
Yeah, I mean, that recon came forward, really did some value for Baylor, but they also used Hunter's Fury at the very, very end there, and that actually could cost them this next round here, Carson, because now they don't have that pressure against Syracuse if they choose to run down C site here. I said operators there, so they probably don't opt in for that, but that is something to keep in mind is they don't have that now to really push forward onto Syracuse. Obviously, the teleport from the Omen, and then this Yoru Dimensional Drift is still on hand, and you'll probably end up seeing that come out from the side of Baylor for that sort of reconnaissance. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be something that Syracuse needs to be aware of, or as Baylor tries to take advantage of. But Syracuse, they don't care if Truth has an operator. They're just going to try to walk down C.
Oh, should have cared a little bit there as Mobugi gets caught on that C site. Kings get Stomp again on that other side as the Orange find themselves kind of now having to keel and back off. It's been such a good night now with 22 kills for the leader of that Baylor squad, Truth, who is at 24.8 kills per game. And by the way, that's 4.2 above any other player in the conference.
Yeah, that's just...
Also leads the deaths per conference with 16.9, leads the deaths for all players qualified above 20 kills.
I mean, you know, if you're going to walk forward and drop 30, I think you're allowed to die 20 times.
I think that's entirely fair, but has been having one of those nights tonight. Poor Valorant timing gets Drago as there's two right there. And they unfortunately Pretz can't pick, excuse me. Moving forward, Monster just nails one, has been great with the Guardian. But now within 4, the Orange are succumbing to what has been a common thing here on Haven in mostly ranked games, but some professional games. And mostly ranked games in terms of there's a lot more ranked games played than competitive games.
Yeah, I mean,
esports games.
You know, first time out taken for either of these teams, external the coach of the team who's really put in some work to make some changes for this roster and make them, you know, be this team that we saw a few times tonight or saw pretty consistently tonight. So I'm not too surprised that we see this timeout coming in, right? Going to make some changes, say, all right, look, you know, we're okay. Let's be a little bit more cautious here on this Thrifty. This is typically when we see external go for these timeouts, is on these Thrifty rounds when they go for this. Mobugi is holding the Bucky, so that's something to keep in mind if Mobugi goes in fast. Looks like the rest of these players are going to be on this Thriftier buy as well. While you have the side of Baylor, they're finally getting that economy up. They have that operator on hand. I think that's really crucial to keep in mind, as Truth has been really a menace with this operator, especially on this defensive side. On the attack, a little rough, right? Got a couple kills, but wasn't able to really get that value. Now he's been able to, right? And that's something to be wary of if you are Syracuse. As we take a look at Mobugi and the rest of the players, Monster on your screen now, as now they're out of this timeout, and Syracuse, Thrifty and a Bucky.
Oh boy, that's what you love to see. If they win this one, they'll win the entire game.
Yes, they will.
It's going to be 4 rounds to win in a row for Baylor to find themselves at an overtime. But they'll see if they can do it. Aggression stays high for this Baylor squad as they finally found their footing where they need to be in terms of aggression. As Mobugi gets location revealed, I'm not sure it really matters. I'm pretty sure they knew where Mobugi was anyway. They move forward. They're going through defender side. Maboogie misses that shot, but their teammates there to collect. Stomp gets Derry. They pick up the shotgun. Stomp with the Bucky again has just been excellent. They hand it down the line. Pretz throws that through. Here comes the ulting Yoru, who Pretz can do nothing but turn and run from. Truth gets one with the shorty, excuse me. Javi gets stopped, and we're back below and even. Here comes a monster ult. It's going to get Kings once. It's tapping twice. Diffusing doesn't work as Monster's there in the right time. Monster gets two with the ult. Now has to find a way to get rid of the defusal. They hear them diffusing. Has to peek faster, but won't go in time. Didn't know where Spike was down.
Yeah, I mean, that was good from Syracuse, right? Losing Maboogie a little early there, right? You got that trade, but you just didn't set up right for that site. I think the spike, like you said, was maybe a little bit too far, right? They weren't able to just peek through mid as needed and get that value when Monster was able to peek that corner through window. But, you know, not bad from Syracuse, right? I like that aggression. It really did catch Baylor off guard. And, okay, correction. The aggression from all of the members, not just Maboogie, who has been very aggressive tonight. But all of these players, it took Baylor by surprise, but that's one of those situations where if you're going to get aggressive, you can't let it sort of change your gameplay up. You still need to be able to stabilize yourselves as a set of 5.
Yeah, it's a very good way to put that one, and the Orange is playing a little too fast there for their own good. Didn't think about where they were putting the spike. They thought they were going to be all on site. But just couldn't find a way to keep that stable Maboogie moving forward. They're going to move towards the C site now. That's that Sova Monster watching long. Stomp going to have the ult here. Pings one, lets him know. Still there on that other side. Gets onto site here, and Stomp has one to beat. Maboogie throws that stun out one more time. They get two. Drago and Monster, excuse me, get Javi and Truth on site. Truth moved forward, lost that operator in the back site. Drago moving forward now and is going to plant. And the typical spot you're hoping for is one will run down long. It will be Maboogie. With Pretz down there already. Kings gets one in the form of Monster, though. They try this retake. It's a 4-on-3. Stop. Gets caught in the animation, but still gets one. Drago another. The 3 goes down to 1. 3-on-1 for the Orange. As they move forward, Stomp can't hit a shot there, but neither can the Jet, as both are full blinded. And Maboogie nails Leno, and the Orange escape the 9-3 curse to go up 1-0 in the series for the first time since week 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful from Syracuse to see, right? Got a little rocky there near the end, but they were able to pull that one out. And I mean, just look at some of this, right? Truth, that main fragger we expected, right? 25 and 16. But look at this. Pretz, Stomp, and Maboogie, 25 and 15, 19 and 14, 17 and 16. Syracuse is doing an incredibly good job right now with this on some of these kills, and that is something you cannot take for granted from this team, right? I mean, just beautiful. Truth, though, 6 first bloods. Pretz, 5. Maboogie, 4. 4 first bloods coming out from Maboogie.
That was a really good second half for Maboogie there, and we'll take a little look at it in just a moment. Pretz with 25, 15, and 4. Truth still top of the leaderboard with 25 themselves. We'll jump really quickly into that recap of the full match. Back forward, Pretz gets one with Derry, and you were just seeing immediately that Pretz was on one on that first game, which just really all the way around. Those first 2 rounds were a dominant with the Bulldog and the Classic. Got 3 before going down. Said, if you're going down, you're going. If I'm going down, you're going down with me. And the Orange really cleaned up from there. They had a very good start, finding a 6-0 lead in the very early portion, and that's just what you love to see. And Maboogie had a Mo Judge moment there. It's just really good from the Orange, who have found themselves offensively. They found identity. They found that kind of pace that they're looking for. Baylor has said it all night, but now the Orange really have control.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Syracuse, this is a great way to get that momentum back in your favor. And
what a moment.
It's the luck of the Bucky brought to you by Maboogie, and that is, I think that's really something that Syracuse is going to play for here. Is going to be this Neon engage with the Bucky. I mean, it works, right? Neon in your ranked games is always that player with the Judge or the Bucky. It's able to just sort of find you, and you're like, what? The round just started, man. Yeah, well, guess what? That's going to be Maboogie for the rest of the season.
It's really annoying to get into a car accident with the Duelist, but that's typically the experience with Neon, with how fast they move. It's a really interesting kit, and you have to imagine Maboogie will continue with it tonight. I have to believe that Maboogie stays on the Neon game, right? They move now to Sunset for clarity on that.
Yes.
As they will be on the defensive side, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse started out well on that defensive side for Haven, and if they can...
It's the attacker side, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I love spreading misinformation to my co-commentators.
That's okay, because Syracuse, they had a pretty good attack side as well, right? They did end up giving some of those rounds to Baylor. I think a lot of that was due to just sort of letting Truth get a little bit more value than they really wanted. I mean, on that defensive side, every time Truth started to get value was immediately shut down, and I think that's what Syracuse, that's what we were talking about before broadcast. I was talking with Pretz about that before broadcast as well, right? I was like, look, this Truth guy, he's going to be an issue, and Pretz said, all right, got it. So focus Truth. And I was like, all right, yeah, I mean, I guess that's going to work. And it did, right? They focused Truth. They got those trades on the defensive side.
25 and 16. I'm not sure that worked, but they found a way to get over it.
They got the trades. It's okay.
The trades. It was mainly the other Baylor squad that kind of acted, unfortunately, as an anchor. Derry kind of playing a little bit like Curl. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just 8 assists for Derry. I mean, Sovas always find a way to contribute, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. And, while Syracuse is 1-0 right now, one more thing to say is winners finals, I believe, right now for Rocket League against Akron. So very, very powerful school when it comes to Rocket League, and Syracuse is looking to put theirs up right there. The team captain, baby, on your screen for Rocket League there. We take a look. Lesser as well. That's sitting to the right of him, and then Tiz on the left. One of those players that, obviously Carson and I have not been on those broadcasts, but very, very powerful 3-set lineup there, especially Tiz, one of those players who is just mechanically an absolute beast, and they're doing an incredibly good job. So best of luck to them as they go forward, as the rest of Valorant is taking a quick breather here to reset before they get into their second match here on Sunset. And one thing on Sunset that is something to really keep in mind, and something that is very similar to Corrode, is mid is crucial to keep, and mid is crucial to understand, and that is what it's going to be for this school. For this team, for both these teams, is this mid control. And when you have players like Pretz who, did a very, very good job, we just saw them, right? I think we see Pretz pull out the Viper here potentially, right, and really control that mid side. We know he's really good with that Viper's Pit, and if you can put that in on the Sunset on mid, it's over.
Yeah, and we talk about a mid control. Let's see who has control over the entire conference in every game. We'll take a little bit moment here to look at the overall standings for each team. Michigan State, I guess, currently without the best record, leading without an Overwatch team, which is why you see the very big lack of games. 7-2, 10-5 Ohio State, who has been unbelievable so far this season. Boise State 7-4 because they got a double bye in 2 games. Yes, 2 games.
Yep.
Kansas 7-7, Orange 7-8, Minnesota 6-7, Utah 4-5, Baylor 6-10, Nebraska 6-10. As I just can't contain myself, can I?
It's okay, Carson. We've all been there. We have all been accustomed to the TikTok sounds and life. You're about to call me old, aren't you?
You sounded old. You didn't do any favors for yourself. You're not even that old. You just didn't do any favors for yourself.
I'm not that old, Carson, and yet I'm being called old. This is criminal. I don't even got gray hairs yet. I'm not bald. I don't have gray hairs. You know what? That's crazy. That is just a wild call.
No camera tonight, but next time you see him, give your
I'm gonna have like a gray streak through my hair. Just
probably because of me.
Yeah, probably, Carson.
This Orange squad looking to have some gray hairs after what's been a stressful first 4 weeks, but there's a positive light here in 5, but you now need to make sure you don't do what you did against Michigan State and let off the gas. You started 5-0 against Michigan State in Game 2, and I think when you win that many rounds, you feel a lot better, and you just take a deep breath. But it's going to be a big key to this Orange squad. And, Stomp is going to be a huge key.
Yeah, and, Stomp is one of those players, like Pretz, very, very powerful, very good with those kills, and also a player that is always where they need to be, right? Stomp is incredibly talented as a player, right? And they're averaging about those, 13 to 14 kills, per game, and, you think, right, well, that's not a big number. You're right, it's not. It's not a incredibly high number of kills, but they're the useful kills, right? They're the ones that really mean a lot, and that's really what players like Stomp bring to this team is, right, every so often you see them do some of those flashy plays, like taking the Bucky from a boogie and finding 3 with 2 shots, right? Great for them to see, but, Stomp is a player where those things really come into play, where, it really is just the small things that come into the large outcome of the game.
Majoring in entrepreneurship, which you can imagine our prod team had a great time trying to spell that one. 3 different iPhones used, and a laptop went down. It was a very rough time. Very rough time. As from Lebanon, New Jersey, it's a very Midwestern town name, because there's always those towns in the Midwest that are like Cairo, Illinois.
Isn't there like a Lebanon in Kansas too?
There's a Lebanon in Kansas, Illinois, Minnesota, and New Jersey.
Wow.
That's one of the
I only
weird
know
things
that because of Supernatural.
The only reason I know that is because of where I live. There's Sandwich, Illinois. There's Normal, Illinois,
There's
where I
a
worked last
Sandwich,
summer.
Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois has any town name you could possibly think of. Berlin, Moscow.
There's a Moscow,
There is
Illinois?
a Moscow in Illinois, yes.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's my state. I'm proud to say that I'm from the middle of nowhere. Not really. I'm actually from Chicago. But I tried
say
not
that
to do
again?
it. I really tried not
Say
to do
that
it.
again?
I really tried not to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be
lost
clipped. You can call me old. I'm going to make sure I clip that later.
It's not even that bad. It's just where I'm from. You're just old.
I'm just not that old, Carson.
I even said you weren't that old. I even said that.
This is cruel. This is why Carson and I are not allowed to be co-casters, because we just start shooting the shots at each other. But other than that, the rest of this Valorant team, they've had some time to sort of reset and have a good time. And now they're setting back up. They're sitting back in their seats. They're ready to go. They're ready to take these next fights. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, right? I don't believe I've been on a broadcast here where they've played Sunset. Have they played Sunset previously, Carson? No. So this will be our first time seeing them on Sunset. So going to be something interesting, right? We don't know what comps they're going to walk out on. We don't know what they're going to play style into it. It's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, no veto. Well, not obviously. Now we know there is no veto, right? So not a character you're going to need to worry about going into Sunset. I think a very powerful character probably going into Sunset, right? But very likely, right, we might see this Viper again, this Omen, right, Omen Viper, very potential. The Neon probably coming out again for Mabugi. Potentially going to see, I think a Breach would be pretty solid here, honestly, Carson. But likely going to be the Sova again, just such a powerful initiator with that recon, the double shock dart, and the Hunter's Fury, and the recon drone. I mean, there's just so much recon available with that character, and so very likely we see something of that variety. And, in Baylor, we might see this double duelist composition again, right? Players like Truth and Leno, who are these top fraggers, you're probably going to see them walk out on the highest capability to frag, which is going to be on duelist.
I think we haven't seen Sunset ever. Oh. I believe, because it came out in the summer, correct? Or was no, it wasn't. Had a rework, so it was not playable in the spring. Have not really touched it at all since that, so I'm curious really how that's going to go. This was the pick of that other squad. It was going to be it's our pick. Excuse me, it was our pick, one pick of the week. We're the away team against Baylor this week. It's randomly generated. We're the away team this week against Baylor. Next semester we'll be home. It actually does matter for picking maps and such, trying to create a quote-unquote home field advantage a little bit, but not a coin flip like you'd see in some sports.
And that is something to keep in mind, right, is, Syracuse won on Baylor's map pick, right? And so, this is a map pick from Syracuse that we have not seen yet, right? Typically, you see the Bind, the Abyss, obviously not seeing that, but the Bind or Ascent, right, maps coming out from Syracuse, and it's because they're very, very good at those maps. And so seeing them come out on this Sunset pick is something different. It's something that, maybe a lot of these teams are not ready to go up against. And this could be really, really good for Syracuse, right? Already coming off of that win from Baylor's pick, now getting to play a map of their own picking. And it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Syracuse, they want to 2-0 this. They want to go home. They want to have a nice win on their record because, just because you're down 0-4, you can still have a positive record for this year, for this semester, right? It's still very possible for them to come out on top of this.
I believe there's only 8 weeks or 8 games, so I believe you have to...
Yes, there are 9 schools. There are
8 games.
We are school number 9, so you cannot play yourself.
Yes.
That's how math works.
That'd be hard. I mean, there is those spring scrims.
That is true. But I don't think those count.
The football teams do that. We don't.
I don't think that would count though.
No,
unfortunately.
No.
But you can go even going out for this semester, and you can still go positive going into the bracket. And that is something that we really touch on sometimes. We don't really talk about is. It is all year. Very different from last year where each semester was counted differently, right? This year, all matches throughout the year count towards the PEC standings. And, if you're Syracuse, and you can end up going 12-4, that's going to be really, really good for you. And it's possible for them to have that really good seeding, right? And sort of improve like the Overwatch team did last year. They weren't great in the first semester. Second semester, they came out as seed 2, right? So Syracuse has a lot of work that they can put in, but it is really crucial to understand that this semester does mean a lot as well as next semester.
Yeah. Last year, we weren't sure if this was both were going to count towards the overall seeding. It will this year, 1,000 million% guaranteed.
1,000 million.
That's a lot of numbers.
That's a lot of zeros.
It's a lot of zeros. It's actually one number. It's not a lot of numbers.
Thank you, Carson.
It's a lot of characters. Either way, Syracuse does have the ability to go 12-4, and it's going to take a lot of momentum, and that's what you're going to have at the end of this year. If they can beat Baylor in a dominant fashion, I think the squad has what it takes to beat Kansas, who is in that 5 spot, and I think truly is the 5th best team in Valorant. And the squad, I mean, if you beat Baylor here, it's a big feel-good moment because you're at the bottom of the conference, you're winless, and you're beating a team that does have a win, and that's something that feels good. There's a lot of talk, a quote from Tom Hannock of the NIU head coach position for football, that beating a winless team doesn't really feel good that much. It's a win, but you go on to Sunday and you feel the same way. For us, it's Friday, but winning while winless is the greatest feeling ever. I have to imagine. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, and, it would be really good for Syracuse as well because, against Baylor at large, right, winning this tonight means at minimum they will go 2-2, right? So a nice even record against Baylor, but it sets them up to go 3-1 against Baylor this week and have a overall program win against Baylor, and that would be really nice for them to see. We take a look at agent select here, Carson. Syracuse over on the attacking side, so in red, Pretz hovering the deadlock. I would love to see this agent, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Monster looking at Sova, Drago on the Omen, Mabugi on the Neon, Stomp looking at Yoru. You take a look over at the side of Baylor, Vice being hovered here, Sova, Raze, Omen, and Reyna. So Raze and Reyna, 2 characters that we have not seen for a very long time in terms of the duelist, especially Reyna.
Brett's going to go with that deadlock, and it's going to be almost a mirror comp from the last game for Syracuse after they will have everything the same partially other than deadlock, as I just mentioned.
Yep.
As Vi's on the other side. Syracuse plays a lot of Vi's. They're going to have a good advantage against that, but that is a real Reyna on my screen right now.
Yeah, the Reyna. I mean, truth, a big fragger. It's not surprising you play the Reyna here, but Reyna is in a very interesting spot right now in terms of Valorant, Carson, and I'm curious to see how Truth is going to play her because she just hasn't really been performing as well as some of those other duelists, and it really is a lot of individual performance for Reyna, and maybe that's what Truth is looking for, is really just to say, I'm playing my own game, and I'm going to take it the way that I want to here, and it's possible that that's what Truth chooses to go for. The deadlock, I want to quickly touch on this, Carson, and I promise I'll stop yapping, and that's going to be, with this deadlock, you do have actually a really good ability to control mid, right, with both those sound detectors. You have that wall, that 4-way wall, and then you have that nice little net grenade, very powerful as well, and the biggest thing, and this is going to be something that I think is going to be crucial for Syracuse here, is going to be that grab, that cocoon grab. And that is going to be because they're going to be able to grab that member or push out or rotate or force something to put themselves at the advantage. And that's going to be a lot of control in mid if that's where Pretz chooses to set up here. As we see, it looks like Monster looking over at B site might look to just, tease a recon dart or something. Yep, I'm going to tease over, shock dart, excuse me, as the rest of Syracuse is going to look to engage through mid.
Syracuse starts off with a kind of an aggressive look at mid. They want to control it. As you mentioned, it's kind of everything here. And Baylor going to just kind of give it up. Syracuse on the attack first. They're going to let them have it, but they're going to overall, everybody doesn't want to touch it. It's kind of like Corrode where if nobody's controlling mid, it's the exact same situation, and it doesn't really favor the offense. Offense should always have control of mid to really have the ability to go anywhere they want. But they choose A here, and that's a good choice. 4 remaining on the other side. The Orange have a few on this A section. And just Sova remaining for that other squad of Baylor. The Bears trying to find a way to defend right here, but they're going to give point away as they can't do much of anything else unless Sova wants to play hero ball. Stop! Right place, right time. Moves forward, tries to peek out, seeing another. Javi should have seen the gun at this point. Yes, Javi shoots through the smoke, but there's 2 more Orange coming through the smoke. Javi just dodging left and right, hitting right click, gets Mobugi. Leno gets 2. That's way too aggressive for the Orange, and they get punished mightily. Pretz gets 1 more, and Monster the last one remaining on the plant. Can't be too aggressive, but you also can't just let them win here. Looking the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. Truth nails him in front, and that Reyna starting off strong for that other side, but no utility to use, so what do you guess?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things I was talking about with Sunset and that mid control is, you know, even though Syracuse was able to walk over to A site and plant there, no one was watching mid, and Truth just walked through mid, flanked behind, was able to find that kill pretty easily, and that is crucial, right? Mid control, though it is something that you can sort of ignore after a certain point, it's something that you probably shouldn't, especially if you don't know where the enemy team is, and, you know, Syracuse needs to make sure that they have something watching that mid area, whether it be that lurking duelist, or you have someone like Pretz holding that mid area with some sort of utility. Very useful to make sure you still have some sort of tabs on mid, even if you're not going to sit there. Syracuse now going to look over onto B site, which has been purely set up on by the Vise. So Syracuse needing to be aware of some of this util as they go forward. If they find a kill here early, that'd be really nice as Pretz finds that, and now the Vice utility is for naught.
King shouldn't be playing there. It's a wide open spot with no cover, and just kind of walks into that one, goes down very early. And Baylor, as round 2, it's not going to be the way you're hoping for right there. That's a bad start. Lose basically all your util right now on that B site. Orange are still slow, though. Neon in that corner, Mobugi with the Sheriff. Trying to find a way forward, waiting for that Orange squad to push together. But there's Omen watching that right now. As they move back off that site, Omen looks the wrong way, throws that smoke, and the Orange are going to get real aggressive here. Here comes that Raise grenade one more time. Javi, Leno. Leno gets 2 again. Javi gets 1. Leno gets 3. It's Mobugi, Drago, and Monster for that hat-trick. Can't get an ace here, but can get 4. Truth moves forward. That Raise nade comes out forward. 1 more. Truth throws down that eye. 1 more time, pushing forward with Truth and the entire team. Truth can end up with that kill. Pretz goes down, and the Orange are down 2-0. Not like the first game.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse, that's the second time that Leno has dropped 2+ kills onto the Syracuse roster. Now, we'll say Leno did buy a Vandal there, so a little bit of a gun advantage on the second round. But, you know, players like Leno and Truth, I was talking about this, like this double duelist, the Raze and the Arena, something you haven't seen in a very long time. 2 duelists that, frankly, don't see that much play time, but they're very, very individualized duelists. And you don't really need to worry about your team, and this is where you sort of see this why these 2 players, especially Truth, is in that top 10 of killing potential for the PEC. It's because you don't really need to worry about that util. You sort of just go in, you use it for yourself. Stomp finds Leno. It's a great way to start, as Syracuse is going to still look through mid, and I want them to sort of lurk here a little bit more and really secure this mid play, because a lot of the times you're seeing a rotate from Baylor.
I mean, look at how aggressive this Baylor squad is standing. You see Sova right now on that A site, kind of peeking with that shoulder. It's going to be really tough. They hear that come out, and are they going to go for it? They will. They're just going to peek into it, take no damage, but now they have 4 members of the other team after them. A little bit too far, but they still get it. Mobugi, without any damage taken, get daring. Monster gets 1 more in the form of Truth, who goes down. Moving back forward, trying to find anything they can, as this Drago plants on that 1 more side. They're going to kind of retreat here and wait for them to retake, make their first move as they kind of fortify here on that other end. Drago trying to find a way through the smoke. Well timed. They both run out of bullets right as they start peeking. Pretz trying to use every bullet that they paid for.
Yeah, Syracuse has the spike down. Good for them. Pretz finds Javi, and Stomp finds Kings, and that is what you want to see if you're Syracuse. A lot better, right? And they played that a little bit, you know, safer in terms of that mid control as well, right? They sat there a little bit longer. They made sure that there wasn't really anyone to really concern themselves with, and they were able to win that round very, very well. And, you know, with this, nice and even against Baylor in terms of this money momentum, and Syracuse down 1 round, but that's okay, right? You win the gun round, and that really is a big testament to saying how these rounds are going to go. Is, you know, typically if you lose that first pistol round, you're going to lose that second round. We've talked about that a lot here, Carson, but winning that 3rd round is crucial, right? Not only will it put you back in the even spot for money, but also it proves that once you're even in those guns, that it's a lot more of a closer matchup.
After the first 3 rounds, things kind of go even. especially when that third round is won
Oh.
by that other squad. Pushing forward once more through the smoke. Truth gets Pretz. Mobugi gets one in that form, but goes down to Derry. Stop going over once more. Trying to find their way forward without any team behind them just yet. Omen gets there in time, but it's going to be bait if Stomp peeks here, as there's nobody there to really reinforce. They move forward very slowly. This orange squad going to push towards A with a 3-4 disadvantage.
Syracuse now looking to try to make this even and get a kill, but Nade is going to find some damage onto Drago there. 2 smokes come out.
Stomp and Drago look at each other before they move back. Have Spike, but it's in Monster's hands the furthest back. Derry waiting in that smoke. Goes turned into spoiled milk as Stomp gets rid of them. Good call. Is the one more for Drago. What a swing. Home run for against Lino. Back once more, trying to push it forward. Drago has earbuds in, by the way, for clarity, for those of you who are wondering why they're not wearing a headset. Drago gonna push that smoke back out. 2 on 3. The Orange have the advantage on that offensive side. Spike winding down. They have to get aggressive. Javi gets Monster. It's not what you want to see. Drago goes back off. Moving forward, Stomp. They're defusing. Needs to find a way, but goes down. It's opening night for basketball, and Baylor has been balling on this defensive side. Bears up 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the aggression coming out from Baylor there. They were able to find their ones and win that, and this is sort of what you need to be aware of if you're Syracuse, sort of what lost you corrode last week against Ohio State is, you know, you can't put yourself in a position where you're playing sort of single 1v1s here, right? You have to be able to get those trades and be up on the trade, and right now we haven't really seen that from Syracuse. They haven't really been finding those trades with each other, and unlike the side of Baylor, who they've been taking those ones and winning those trades, and you haven't really seen that from Syracuse, like I said, and so you need to be a little bit more cautious as Mabugi is going to look for Truth here and finds them. Down goes Truth.
Truth doesn't peek far enough. Every bullet goes into the wall right there and doesn't manage to connect anyway. Orange down 1-3. If you're going to take those ones, you're just going to lose against a Baylor squad like this one, who is thriving there. Stop lets them know where Kings is, backs off once more in that dimensional drift. Peeks out of it, and there's now no ults remaining for the Syracuse Orange. One in the form of Raze, obviously no veto, so still can do massive damage in this day and age.
I didn't even think about that, Carson.
Pretz goes forward. Yeah, it's rough.
It's a little ridiculous, but
they throw down the barrier. Moving forward, Leno trying to peek on that top side. Pretz waiting, trying to get them to be aggressive because they have spiked down on that B site.
Oh, showstopper.
Vizes didn't get enough. Here comes Leno. Kings gets one. Derry goes down. Leno gets stopped. The Orange still have at least a tie in terms of advantage in personnel. Javi comes out of the smoke, goes down, tries to get rid of them. There's 2 more down there. They get the call. Pretz gets 2. Trying to get one more. Monster just has to get rid of Vize or Stomp, one of the 2. Peeking through the smoke. They're holding it. And Drago's in the right spot, right time. Monster can't get them through the smoke. But Kings goes down to the Dragon. There's no Dragon slain today.
Yeah, very good from Syracuse there, finding those kills. You know, if you are Syracuse, you try to live through that spike going off. You're not able to, and a couple of these members go on a Thrifty. Mabugi on the Bucky once more. That is the go-to Thrifty for this player. And, you know, Syracuse, they're down on the rounds right now, but, you know, this is a lot better played for them, right? They got those trades, even though Stomp did go down, got that one before dying to that showstopper, and that's what you want to see, right? Get these trades, get that value off so that even if you go down, you still stay up, and that's what Syracuse is able to do there. So very well played from them coming up onto that B site. Looking at A fast push as Mabugi is already in the front lines with the Bucky.
Someone just realized that Sova's been the only one on A the entire game. Moving forward, Mabugi puts that stun down. Wall comes up, gives the Orange some space and some ability.
Just clear
to move
sight.
forward undercover. Yeah, Pretz and Monster get 1 each. Monster with that classic as they can't full buy gets Truth. As they back off once more, the Baylor Bears reeling once again as Derry goes down to Stomp.
What happened to the rest of Baylor?
What did Javi... Okay. They all got eliminated.
We were so focused on watching.
I said it. You were so focused on Mabugi.
Yeah, my bad. I really
love the
like
run
the
and jump.
Bucky play. I can't get
Here
over
it comes.
Oh, there's one.
Kings gets half.
There's 2.
King get the second
There's
jump.
3.
3 times is the charm as the Orange knot it at Trace.
Team ace. Beautiful to see. Syracuse feels good after that one. And, you know, here's the thing with Mabugi. he's very respectable with this Bucky, right? You use it, you get the kill, you get rid of it, you take the new gun. Don't need to be overzealous with the Bucky, and that's what I really like about this. But you know, Syracuse now even here, guns in their favor. Baylor forcing this buy here. Every one of them 0 creds, 850, 50, and 500. This is a major forced buy coming out from Baylor, and a good one for Syracuse if they could win this. Really start to get that momentum back into their favor here, winning this round, potentially winning round 5 as well on a forced Baylor thrifty. So something to keep in mind here is Baylor is pushing through mid.
I just don't see what they're up to. They're putting 4 defenders to one site, and then they have to rotate, which just kind of puts them at a disadvantage because now the Orange are in a good position. They're being able to move forward. Here comes a double ult. It's Reyna and Vise. Reyna has that regen right there moving forward. No primaries. As Pretz goes down, they're going to decide to back off for just a moment as Pretz goes down at mid. Reyna has that ult until she goes down. Keep in mind the Orange have 3 themselves. It's the Neon Finger of Doom, Omen's Teleport, and a Sova Arrows. Kings gets 2. Drago gets Kings, though. Not an equal trade. The Orange are down 2 to 4 on personnel. Truth flanking, but Monster senses it. He's been flanking all game, literally every time. It goes down. Drago still gets Truth. It's a 1-on-3. I believe Drago will need to ult. Or, excuse me, they did ult. Need to ace to win this one. Drago does ult. Has Spike now on that ace site. They hear that teleport, throws down smoke. Not in the right spot, has to move over a little bit more and delays them just enough. Oh, no, poor timing. And Javi gets Drago in the Omen duel. And the Baylor Bears find themselves up 4-3, and the Orange are going to have to move to a thrifty.
Yeah, and you know, with that, I'm not too surprised, right? Truth pops that ultimate, and you know, with Empress, it's very difficult to really win that, especially when you have a player like Truth who's just able to sort of walk down and do whatever they want, walk through mid and find that value. And that's what I'm talking about, right? You have to keep a little bit of pressure on that mid site. That's the best thing you can do to win that, to sort of stop players like Truth from rotating through. And you know, we didn't really see that. Syracuse lost Pretz early, unfortunately, but they're going to be good here. Mabugi back on the Bucky, pushing around through mid. Truth already aggressive onto mid here. Mabugi might be able to find them. They turn the corner correctly. There he is. Oh, ew! Mabugi strikes again.
That is a full 90 right there. One more time. Mabugi, Finger of Death, gets one more. Has the opportunity to get the last 3. Doesn't know that there's one to the right. Just runs past him anyway. Who cares? Javi gets them either way. That's why they care. And one more time, Kings in that top end. Gonna cocoon. Get cocoon, excuse me, by Pretz. That's
a kill.
It's a slow doom right there. No teammate comes out to help.
Oh.
And Pretz gets 1, but Javi gets Pretz in that other end. A trade there. Bit weird trade, but still got it. 2-on-2 remaining. Orange have Spike down on that B site. Trying to push forward. Drago.
Oh.
Sees one right there. They know it right there. Monster sees one. Decides to try and wait maybe a second. Just ends up shooting Derry anyway. Is Drago running around, panicking. But say, you know what? 4-4 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're Syracuse, it doesn't matter how you win it as long as you win it, right? And Syracuse ended up taking that win. A little scary there at the end. Drago just sort of throwing the mouse around, hoping that he hit the shot, and did do so. Forcing Baylor onto this thrifty, so really well played coming out from Syracuse. They got the money, they got the advantage, and this is what you want to see from them, right? And you got that monster ult as well, so if you can get yourself on to point on this thrifty, you can also use that as needed. So very, very good from them. And Syracuse as a whole, I mean, we've seen these replays throughout the night, Carson. Every one of these players are really doing a good job at getting these kills, getting this value, and really finding the advantage for their team.
And this is what we're talking about, the Baylor aggression. It's Raze and Reyna forward. Drago still gets Leno, as that's a poor job from the Bears, who are now all stuck in the corner. It's another trade, 3-on-3. Somehow the Bears escape with their lives in that one. Stuck in a knife fight in a phone booth at that A site in lobby. Pushing forward into main, the Orange are trying to get rid of Truth, who is just walking forward. Does nothing but the W key. And Stomp gets crushed one more time. Teleport back. It's that Reaper invulnerability type thing if you are new to Valorant and not new to Overwatch. Drago pushing forward, knows when there's one to the right. Truth gets nailed, making sure there was another on the left, but Truth has themselves 3. Just been dominating this round. This is what we're talking about with that KO ability. And not KO the operator, but I mean more knockout. Thrifty for that Baylor squad. 5-4, they find their way with a second Thrifty in a row for their last 2 rounds.
Yeah, and this is just a back and forth game here, Carson, of who is going to really catch the potato in the end. And, you know, Syracuse, they they're looking to keep this momentum and get it back in their favor, but they just haven't been able to really secure that double win. And, you know, I really do think a lot of it is coming down to this flank from mid, right? They're taking their time, getting on the site. And, I mean, like you said, right, Baylor, they're throwing a lot of members on a solo defense, and they're forcing this long rotate. And it's like Syracuse can take this advantage and get aggressive here, but they haven't been, and they really haven't been controlling this mid either, which has been really good for Baylor.
It's obviously worth noting that the Orange don't know they're doing that. They have yet to come into a situation where it's just, oh, they have one on A, they probably have two at mid, two at B, whatever. That's what you're thinking because you're not playing mid right now. You only get one look right now if you're the Orange. Target gets hit there, but still Mobuki goes down to Truth. Kings gets Monster. We talk about how good this squad can frag. The Bears are proving it here after a struggle in the first half last game. Pretz gets one as consolation, but it's still a 3-on-4. Orange disadvantage, down 5-4 in the round.
Yeah, and they don't really have any ults to use here. Empress and Huntress Fury available for the side of Baylor. I don't think you see the Empress popped here from the Reyna, but it is possible if they choose to do so. 53 seconds. Pretz not able to keep Stomp up there as they die over on B site alone. A 2-2 split for the side of Baylor as Pretz and Pretz goes down to Truth here.
Clotheslined again, 2 in a row. Bring him up, knock him down as Truth gets 3. And they find themselves up 6-4. Orange at best can tie at the half.
Yeah, and, you know, at least you can buy these guns here, right, Carson? That was your thrifty round. External going for the timeout. Very, very smart play here, right? You get to take some time, figure out what you want to do, right? You lost that thrifty. Now it's a really crucial point for you to win this one as well because you don't really want to go into a potential 6-6 on that thrifty as well. So really looking to make this back and even again for Syracuse. And I'm curious to see how they're going to play this defensive side. But on the attack here, right, if you're Syracuse, I want to see a little bit more aggression, right? You know, I know that, you know, like you said, Carson, you don't know what's going on the other side, but a little bit more aggression coming out from them is going to be very, very crucial. I think they've been a little too passive, actually. They had a really good mix on Haven of that aggression and that passivity, but now it really comes down to, can you get a little bit more aggressive again? Can you bring that back into your favor? And that is what I want to see from Syracuse on this map and on Sunset going into this round number 11, I believe. So we'll have to see what they do, right? They do have all the guns, the operator in Truth's hand, and that was something that was very powerful on Haven defense. Is it going to be as powerful on the attack?
Yes, it's all about distance here on Sunrise, or excuse me, Sunset. Holy ball knowledge. Syracuse is going to kind of be at a disadvantage because of distance. They don't really play that operator too much, and it's going to really work against them. Truth is the truth at distance, and that's what's been the big advantage for Baylor. They were less aggressive on Haven because they knew that they don't excel well in that close-range matchup. Baylor, for all their flaws, is very intelligent in what they are good at and not good at, and they're going to force you to beat them in the hardest way possible for that map. And this has been a very good job of them keeping the distance, making sure the Orange are staying far away from the operators and snipers of their world.
Yep. Syracuse full push here. Everyone got blinded there. Mabuki forced to back up. They're not able to find that kill. Leno finds it. No trade for Syracuse. And this is what I'm talking about. These trades are crucial for them to bring themselves in the favor because these matches have been very, very close. I mean, even on Haven, when things get scrappy, it's close. And you really don't know who's going to win those. In Syracuse, they need to find their value here. On the corner will be a shorty.
They get it. Mo Stomp gets one, looking for a second. Leno gets stopped, but Drago gets the trade. It's a 3-on-3 overall now as the positive two-way trade goes for the Orange as they had hoped. 3 for them as, look, Pretz just discovered that B is open. And Pretz got locked out of B by Vice. Tough scenes there as the Orange were maybe thinking about rotating, but it's going to result in a rotate away from A site. We'll see what this Orange squad decides to do. There's 2 on B. I think they maybe have Deadlock trapped. But I think they're going to realize very soon that they don't. They'll find out as soon as Vise moves over to that right side. And now maybe they're going to look the other way. Yes, Vise is going to maybe move back. But the Orange still have A. I'm surprised the Bears aren't rotating. There's a lot of noise being made by this squad. And that other way as they finally move over. Teleport away. Javi waiting right on that side. Drago going to throw down plant with 6 seconds remaining, but they go down. Trying to find the way forward. They need to plant. They need to have somebody getting that spike down. Wrong place, wrong time, and the defenders win on a technicality. Monster gets Truth as well. What a tough break for the Orange. You have to find a way to support your team and make sure the site's clear. They didn't check. They flat did not check.
I really thought that they knew that that Javi was there, and I thought they were going to swing on that spike plant and have Pret sort of go for that kill, but they didn't end up doing that, and that's something that, you know, unfortunately, that's that miscommunication that you need to worry about. But 4 ults ready for both sides, right? Best thing for Syracuse is 5-7 going into the half. Worst thing is 8-4, or 4-8, excuse me. Immediately going to use Dimensional Drift for some recon. Nothing out from the side of Baylor yet. I like this for the recon. You spot 1, you spot 2, you spot 3 for Stomp, and that's good knowledge to know.
It's a tough scene right immediately for that squad of Baylor.
That's one.
Stomp gets one with Leno, moving forward with the Dimensional Drift, and got there finally. As that barely misses, Stomp gets 2. Monster finds one as well as Mobugi, and it's a 4-on-1 very quickly as Derry goes down as well, who has just been trying to find any value that they can. They don't get the ult off in time. No ults used for the squad. As Vi's the last one remaining, they shouldn't use it here, but
there it is.
The attackers win anyway. Kings goes down, and Drago gets that final kill. And boy, you want to talk about a big difference maker right now, and it's going to be on the negative side of that other squad. Derry has been playing like curdled milk right now, unfortunately, and it's tough. That's not characteristic for them. They're a very good player, and they have been great on the assists. They found a lot of assists. They're towards the top in assists in the entire conference, but it's just not been where they're clicking today. Had a better first round, but that second half really didn't do well and has been struggling here. If they can find it, this Baylor squad should find a way to win as the Orange go down 7-5 at the half. We switch sides.
Yeah, but I mean, Syracuse had a really, really strong defense on Haven, and now they really get to try to make that even. And here's the thing. If they win this first round, they'll likely win the second round. They'll go even. So this is a crucial one for Syracuse going into this. I mean, they had some great kills last round, and so, you know, Drago immediately going to shut off this mid area for the side of Baylor. And no one, or excuse me, yeah, there is one individual for the side of Syracuse watching mid as Pretz spots a couple, throws it out, and I believe might be able to split some off.
That's one there right now as Leno gets Pretz, Javi gets Drago, and it's a 3-4 advantage in terms of personnel for that other squad. Stop, good headshot there, teleports back. Now it's going to be a retake. Teleported a little bit too far. And they're now back at A site. Spike goes down for that Baylor squad. That's a good point for them. Mobugi and Monster. Eminem going to move back down to that lower side and try and find that higher tier in themselves. Moving up forward. Mobugi's in the back line. Nobody's there. Monster and Stomp get one. Javi, though, get Monster in that site.
Stick it.
Stomp going to stick it. Looking at left side. Mobugi not sure where they are. Here's him at the last moment. And Mobugi with the headshot. Orange win round 1 of the second half, and that is where you want to be.
It exactly is, Carson. Now, you know, Syracuse, they can look to buy a little bit more here. They can look to force Baylor into an uncomfortable position and look to even themselves up as we are in this halftime here. So very, very good to see from Syracuse. Some phenomenal gameplay coming out, right? And I like that rotate as well. Baylor did not hear it. They were looking at the left side, or looking at top, excuse me. They did not expect the market push and that trust coming out from those two players, right? Trusted that Mabu was going to be able to find that kill, was able to do so, stuck the spike defusal, was able to find it, and now Syracuse in a good spot here once more. Stomp was watching mid as well, I want to point out, last time, and now we're going to see Drago watching mid for a second here as Pretz looks to find one early and does on the truth.
5-2 in the first 2 rounds for the Orange right now. If they go to 6-2, it's a pretty good sign. It's like third down in football. The teams that win those first 2 rounds are typically the team that wins there. As Mobugi gets the Mobucky elimination, BU Kings goes down. Back forward, throwing that frag out, trying to get one. They can't. No, Pretz and Drago get one. As Javi is left just stuck in neutral, moving right there, goes down after is caught by the trap. And it's a flawless for the Orange. Wow, not what you were hoping for the Baylor Bears. Up 7-5, let's find a way to get momentum and go down 2 rounds and immediately tie it. Orange will have that advantage money-wise, but it'll be a full buy for Baylor.
Yep, forcing out that full buy from Baylor, the round 3 typical situation here. Syracuse now, not having to full buy, not having to force anything, and they can lose this and be perfectly fine, but winning this is going to be really, really good for them, keeping that momentum and forcing a second thrifty coming out from Baylor. Obviously, the Mobugi Bucky is going to stay and stick around for this next round. No reason to buy here. Drago shutting off mid. No one, I believe, is watching mid this time, so that is something to keep in mind as Syracuse is not going to control mid. And this is something that is different because Baylor is looking to control it and push through, and there's no one watching this mid site, but there is a flank coming around. Drago watching, might be pushing through mid here, and Monster is going to be watching it, peeks through, gets shot, but runs away.
Got some damage as well. Onto Derry, discovers that the entire team is on that middle section and goes, hey guys, we don't peek mid right now. See what they can do. Drago gets one in the form of Derry. They don't look the right way, and they win that game of Cowboy. 2 for Drago. Trying to find one more as Pretz gets Javi. They're pushing forward and getting aggressive on the edges of mid, and that's exactly what you're hoping for. Baylor has the opportunity to plant, but with Pretz behind, they don't feel too safe. Kings faking the plant twice, maybe 3rd time's the charm for this Baylor squad. They get it down. Pretz waiting. Sees the Reyna. Reyna goes down for the 2nd round in a row to Pretz. The captain is just dominating right now. Moving forward, and Pretz gets a 3rd. The Orange have won 3 in a row as well. And that is a good start to the half for the Orange.
It's a beautiful start for them. Baylor now going to be not in a great spot in terms of money here, and Syracuse is happy with that as they were able to pick up guns flawless, so no one is going to have to buy, which is going to put Syracuse in a phenomenal position in terms of their money momentum going forward. So something to keep in mind for sure here is Syracuse doing a really good job. Baylor, they started to push through mid, but Syracuse, they really didn't hold the mid. They didn't really contest it much. You saw Monster peek through for a quick second, get shot, and hide. Very, very smart, right? You see 5 members, you don't really want to engage on that. But it did do just enough for Baylor to not push forward onto that mid side, and Syracuse was able to take advantage of that.
Orange have their first lead of this game. Tied twice as Mobugi nearly gets shredded through the glass wall. Drago gets Leno though, as that trade could still go either way. Stomp and Mobugi get one in that other end. Mobugi stays aggressive despite there being 11 health. Trying to push forward with the rest of the squad. Mobugi through the Guardian. Stomp gets one more in the form of Derry as they go down once more. Orange have the entire site. 2 flawlesses in a row, looking for a 3rd. But Mobugi at low health here. Javi's no way on site right now with the barrier. Takes a lot of damage, moves back off.
Oh, Drago's going.
Drago getting aggressive, gets them, and it's the 3rd flawless in a row. 4th straight round for the Orange, who have now taken control of this game and have it in a complete chokehold.
Drago.
No kills in the last 3 rounds for this Baylor Bear squad.
Beautifully well done from Syracuse. Flawless from them 2 rounds in a row as the original Sheriff user ends up becoming the deputy and killed the Sheriff from the side of Baylor. And beautifully well done from this team. I mean, look at these kills here real quick, Carson. 16 and 8, 15 and 9, 13 and 9. I mean, this is just phenomenal coming out from Syracuse right now. And they're starting to run away with this one. I mean, they are currently 2 rounds up here. They're looking to keep it going here. 4 rounds in a row that they have won. Baylor cannot stop them.
Ship is sailing right now for the Orange. If they win this one, they take over 7th in the standings. They would win that tie after they have the head-to-head. Leno gets Pretz as the aggressive defense or offense continues from this Baylor squad. Drago tried to get rid of the razor wire, but couldn't do it. Has to teleport out. Once more, headshot. Doink. Truth goes down, and Drago gets that pop right there, trying to push back forward. Low health for Leno once again, and the Orange lose one. Mobugi gets caught out by Derry. Swung that one. Sweet like ice cream. Leno once more gets Drago. Has 2 kills this round. Derry in the wrong spot. Everybody in the wrong spot, but Stomp can't seem to collect until the last one. No damage taken. Trying to push out that flash. There's 2, and they shoot the wrong one. Stomp gets 3, but Monster gets the last. Pulls out the phone and defuses. What a job from the Orange. That is 5 straight rounds to start the second half.
I mean, if you're Syracuse, this defensive side, it was powerful on Haven. It's powerful once more here, Carson. 3 rounds will bring this Syracuse Orange team to no longer winless in this season, bringing themselves back into this competition and showing that they have the capabilities to beat these teams here, Carson. And this is what you want to see, right? This is Syracuse performing at their best, making those changes, playing well as a team, and this is really, really good. Stomp going to pull out that operator here, and a forced buy coming out from Baylor, and if they lose this, they're going into a round 12 thrifty, and that is just scary if you're Baylor here. That money has not been in their favor, but Syracuse has been rich and rolling in it since round 4.
Yeah, it's been a good night for them in the second half. Struggled a little bit on Haven, but not the case here. 5 straight rounds for the Orange. Monster gets one in the form of Truth. Stomp gets Kings, and it's already a 5-3 advantage. What a shot from both of them. You heard Monster scream as soon as Truth went down, and you hear it again.
Oh.
After that kill right there, Drago and Derry. Oh no! In close proximity, knife fight in the phone booth, and Javi gets Drago, Bretz gets one more, and oh my goodness, tunnel of doom and despair, everybody goes down, but the Orange still come out victorious, somehow only lose one. One player remaining, less than half health. Mobugi tries and isolates them. Now the Orange just have to play here as a team. They don't want to ISO. They know that this Baylor squad wins those 1v1s very often. They want to play as a team. They try and peek together, but Leno gets Pretz, and odds are dwindling. Leno has 3. Now down to a 1v1. Stomp has an operator. But what can he make out of this one?
Just run into A. Maybe?
Team barrier is going to keep Stomp from moving forward. They have to rotate a different way, unfortunately, as Leno runs over to A with 25 seconds remaining in the round. Health advantage goes the way of Stomp, but with an operator, it's not really going to matter. As long as they're not full health, it is a Oko.
I'm curious to see here what Stomp is going to do. Already uses the dimensional drift to get this recon over onto the Rays.
Forward once more. Knows there's nobody there. Is going to come out in kind of a weird spot.
Oh, took out
Switch
the
to a
Phantom.
Phantom. It's a good start right there. Throws that flash out. Trying to get half the defuse. Might pick it up, sees the bullet, gets half the defuse anyway, but just goes through the wall. Stomp, a good idea there, but not the right execution, not the right time. 4 kills. And they find themselves back. What a clutch from Leno. Oh my goodness. The Mares have themselves their first round of the second half. And we'll take a look here. Orange got a really good start of the round. Monster and Stomp got 2 kills. Drago got 1 in this phone booth fight. Got 1 more right there, and as a trade went down, and a 1v4 after that excursion in the Orange, they fell apart right at the end there. And they went down there. That's a big momentum stopper. And keep in mind, they were up 2 at the start. So Baylor now only down 2.
Yeah, and that is crucial to keep in mind, right? Is it does stop the momentum for Syracuse for a quick second here. So looking to get this back in their favor. Pretz jiggle peaks a little bit. Spots, I believe, 2 walking over onto this B site here. And with this now Empress available, we saw really powerful from Truth previously if they choose to use it again here. But that Cocoon still available for Pretz as well, as they can use this on any really fast aggression. Stomp finds Truth, but will be traded by Derry.
It's a good trade that you want. Derry picking it up in that second half. We talked about how important they were, and finally, as soon as Baylor goes, it's Drago.
Using the ult here. Maybe? No.
Just discovers that there's one right there. Oh, maybe still going to use that ult. Gets away, barely in time. They push it back as, oh my goodness, as Booby's a little worried. He's like, what's going on behind me?
Gets the
Cocoon. Oh my gosh, they got one right there. They have to get rid of it.
Oh no.
Kind of just forces Leno into the site right now of Pretz. That doesn't watch it well enough. Note that they didn't want to do it. Orange have no ults. They used their 2. Didn't get too much value out of them. Leno goes down anyway to Pretz. They win that battle with the Phantom in that lower section of B Market. Moving back forward, Mobugi up top. They have control of site again, but they have that no sight line. They need to get control of that tunnel. Back once more, Drago pushing forward into the smoke. They see a shock dart go right past them. Have the right angle, but Kings has quite the flick. Helping right there with the ult. They go down. Pretz gets another. Here's Javi in the back line, and they get one more. Derry gets one with the ult.
Pretz.
It's a one-on-one. What does the captain have? He has to defuse, but he has the barrier. Can't go get it. And everybody goes down, but unfortunately, Pretz can't get it in time with 0.5 seconds remaining on the defuse, and the Orange can't find their way out. 10-9. Baylor has themselves 2 rounds in a row to bring this one within 1, but comebacks end typically within 1 to 2 rounds. We'll see if that goes true for the Orange here. They're surely hoping it does. What a round to stay alive. Just enough delay from the Bears.
Yeah, Syracuse here forcing a buy here, except for Mobugi, who buys the Bucky. Looking to see if they can find value once more on it here. Empress still available for Baylor. Hunter's Fury available for Syracuse here. Drago gonna hide behind this box. Gets a little aggressive here. Pretz looks for a couple jiggle peeks. See if they can spot anyone. Already throws out that net. Don't believe finds anyone. Goes for the blind. This could be a double push coming out from these players. Can't find Leno. Finds one though. Pretz falls low and then falls down to Kings.
Heavy damage on 2. But it's not what you're hoping for. Still 2 guns around for the Baylor Bears. 3-5 disadvantage. Mobugi jumping around. And it's not quite Wisconsin. They go down. Truth back on another sense. There's one in the smoke. It's Omen moving back forward as they jump back out as Monster still able to get Javi. But now it's a 2-on-4. The Orange have to get some real clutch theatrics. And honestly, if I'm the Orange, I'm just W-keying at this point. I don't want to run out of time here. I'm going to run out of time if I keep any more delay. Monster goes for the drone. It's going to take too much time here off the clock. If someone doesn't start pushing soon, they get it there and maybe going to save.
I think you should here, Carson. I think you need to save this or you will lose those guns.
Just too close. Oh. You have to do it at a certain point because you're just too close to the site. You're not going to be able to get out of it and try and take some with you. They get one in the form of Truth at the end there. It's a 3-0 at the end. Baylor gets all the gets all the kills they need.
Yep.
And as they typically do, Baylor is a squad who does not typically play around the bomb. 2 detonations for Baylor is quite odd.
And you know, with this, I mean, Leno and Truth are the 2 top killers right now, and that's not surprising, right? I mean, those are the 2 members that got those final 2 kills at the end, and it's because they will play aggressive, right? They're not going to let Syracuse take the time to really make that decision on what they want to do. And this is what I was talking about with that tempo control at the very start of the broadcast, Carson, is they will take advantage if you choose to play slow, and that's what happened. Is now Syracuse is even up with this team here, but really far push here for Syracuse through mid.
The super thrifty coming out here. Brett's going to throw that barrier down, back up. It's a very good job. Going to give the team time to get back onto site. Only a few moments, though.
The showstopper.
They're going to try and get it through here. Showstopper comes out, fired, missed. Back one more. Empress comes out for Reyna. They miss. Leno and Derry get one at the same millisecond. Mabugi and Drago go down for the Orange. Back on that right side, Empress helps Truth, gets Pretz. Javi gets stomped, and it's potential flawless here. The Orange need to just find something, and it's a flawless for Baylor, who are up 11-10. And the Orange, up 10-7, have lost another lead. It's been truly what we feel like has been just a big problem in the season, is just losing those leads. Can't find the momentum once you lose it.
Yeah, External goes to the timeout here. That's, I believe, 4 rounds that just went over. Yep, 4 rounds that just went over to the side of Baylor, to the 5 that went over to Syracuse. So really put a halt to that momentum and started bringing it back in their own favor. Syracuse forcing the bye, obviously, as they have to. You know, if you're Syracuse, you're only down by 1 round, but this is when the rounds really mean a lot, right? And this is when losing those rounds and losing that money means a lot here. Is, you know, Syracuse, they're going to buy that operator again for Stomp. And I think, you know, maybe you put Stomp holding mid there, right? You haven't seen Baylor push through mid that much, but every so often you see one try to push through that market, and that is something you need to be a little aware of. That, or you have Stomp completely hold that B site and just wait for people to walk down. I mean, Collat is fully possible with that operator, and I think you really need to play around Stomp here and with that operator, and you know, really keep players like Drago alive. I mean, Drago has been doing a lot this map and keeping a lot of map control, and I think keeping that player alive, keeping that player well, is going to be crucial for Syracuse to bring this back to an even playing field against Baylor.
Mabugi's struggling with that aggression right now. Can't seem to find that happy medium with the distance. Neon is a very close range character, and Mabugi just not getting enough of that close range mid fights, as that's kind of where Mobugi's been stationed, and it's just not the advantage of Neon. I don't know why Mobugi has been stationed there. I'd rather see Mobugi where Pretz has been, it feels like, every round, and that's exactly where Mobugi goes. What a call, potentially probably by External there.
Yep.
Because it's going to be Stomp and Mobugi, double duelist waiting on B. Try and trap this squad. They see it there. Drone comes out. Stomp gets one with the op. Mobugi going to wait down in that corner. Leno goes down right there. It's the lack of a raise now. Gonna need more salary than that, as that SU squad has 2 ults. Baylor has none. They have the advantage here. They need to win this round. This is the round you have to win. This is the one. This is the round.
And, you know, if you're Syracuse and you're scared to take this sort of attack here on this site, go for the post plant and play for Monster. I think that's crucial. Don't let Monster die!
Monster has to just hit X here. That's going to do the most damage probably, unless you're waiting for that plant, so maybe don't do that. I lied. But on that left side right now, plant comes out. Monster should hit X at some point soon. Good job right there. Pretz throws that nade back out. Blocks it off once more. They're trying to keep that ultimate for the next shot. Stomp gets one. King's moving forward, just gets nailed by Stomp in that midsection. Back once more, trying to push forward. Primary jammed after the Vise ult. That they're going to extend it. They're going to get out of it. Truth gets Monster though. 4-on-3. Spike isn't down, but it is isolated on that A site. Baylor has to pick it up to win this round. Drago going to run into Truth. It's the shoulder peek of Doom in despair, but he nearly gets out of it, shooting through the box. Drago gets Truth. Mobugi gets Derry. All knotted at 11. Oh my my goodness, make a wish, my friend. It's 11-11.
And that is what you want to see from Syracuse. Very well played. You didn't really lose anyone other than Monster there, and that was beautifully well played coming out from them, right? Very, very good for Syracuse. They win that round. They're able to force that Vice ultimate out, which is honestly crucial because now, right, Baylor cannot make this even with you. They cannot get rid of your primaries and be at the advantage. You are in a really good spot if you're Syracuse, and if you win this, you're forcing a thrifty. No ultimates for Baylor either, and once again, play for Monster here. If you can't take that site, if you're worried about it, play for the post plant, play for Monster. Really good spot here, Carson, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how Syracuse looks to play this one. Maboogie falls early, though.
In that corner right there, they detected it's been there for 4 rounds in a row. They haven't gone there twice. They just shot through the crate and it worked out. One through the smoke. Vice goes down. That's a very good start. Drago jumps back out. That's a really good teleport from Drago. Oh my goodness, but Truth doesn't go down. 4 advantage right now to 2 for the Baylor Bears. 2 ults remain though. You can still win this round, and the Orange are on a thrifty. If they don't, they might want to just save here. It's not an absurd thing to say.
Oh.
But there comes that drone right there. It's going to force them out. They're going to have to go through with it. You just have to hit X if you're Monster right now. This is the time to use it potentially. Truth gets Pretz, and now it's kind of that timer's expired. Truth goes down to Monster. They're waiting right now on that lower wind. Avi tries to get Monster, trying to back up. Goes back and do it. Get some more. How about that? What has the freshman got here?
9
Moving
HP.
forward, and the freshman has got a save with 9 HP. As you mentioned, oh gosh.
And that's actually big.
Oh, wow. That is a mistake you cannot make if you are Derry.
Yeah, I mean, and now Syracuse and Baylor, they have one player who can really, like, afford those guns. And, you know, Syracuse, I believe here, yep. So Syracuse able to force this buy, and this is okay, right? If you're Syracuse, though, right? You have to invest everything that you can. Obviously, this puts you into an OT situation where the money is even. But Syracuse, the Bucky comes out, the Bucky comes out from the Boogie. Everyone else has those Vandals or the Phantoms. 1 Light Shield. The Odin, I believe I saw from the side of Baylor here. Teleport alive. You have 4 ultimates. Use them. You can't keep them in OT.
Stomp's really aggressive here, and there is a Odin. There's just no point in peeking that, but to Stomp know it. The Stomp know it. They see the drone, they hear the drone, they see the drone. It keeps them backwards for their own good. Oh my goodness, nearly ran into a wall of bullets. Leno with that. Phantom gonna move forward. Drago gonna teleport to that corner. Monster gets Truth. That's a good start. Orange back against the wall. 11-2. Pushing back forward. Odin through the smoke at B. They're gonna back out temporarily, just waiting in that tunnel. Spike going back towards mid as Omen goes towards Monster's drone in the middle, who does not have the time to detect anybody.
I think you drift this, Carson. I think you dimensional drift. I think you make sure you know where everyone is, and you get this rotate started, right? Because they're going to get aggressive the second they want to here. Stomp has the util. The blind goes in, finds one.
That's a trade. Drago and Derry, they each get each other as Leno is the one that goes down, the odd one out. Pretz moving forward. With the help of Monster, Recon Dart comes down as Javi is planted. Here comes that cocoon on that other end. Stomp gets Derry. That's a start, but Monster goes down. Maboogie gets BU Kings with the danger finger. Back one more time on that other end. They see one! The Orange force overtime! Round 25 it is!
And this is good here, Carson, right? Forcing this OT. Ults are gone. Money is even. You get 5,000 creds. That's how many you get here to buy whatever you want to buy. This is something to keep in mind. I don't think you see any players buy the op here. But if you did, you know, that's all that you can buy, really. You can buy that operator, and that is about it. But something to really, really keep in mind here. All players get halfway to their ultimate, or if you are an expensive ult, you get 5. So something to keep in mind. So 3 kills is all you need here, Carson. Syracuse starting on the attacking side first. I want to see a little bit more mid control. I think that is going to be crucial for them to watch that flank, to take this advantage, and to win this round here. Looking at these kills, 21-16, 22-15, 19-19, 21-15. It's a close game.
Truth has the op. You mentioned. Yeah. It's basically, if you go down, it's kind of over.
It's a heavy investment.
For your opinion. Not your opinion. Oh, my gosh. It's over Carson. For that one. It's going to be best of 2 here. Orange trying to find a way forward. They have the spike. Trying to avoid another round of overtime. They just want to get this one over with. Go to sleep. Baylor has that mountain time advantage, so they're 2 hours back. Stop. Mobuki gets Truth. Mobuki gets that operator down in that corner, and Truth will not have a full buy next time. Back forward, Stomp going to move forward with the collection of orange behind him. Right now, just Monster as Mobuki and Stomp move back in that right side. It's going to be Pretz on that B site. They're not going to get aggressive here. It's a good call, as there's 2 on A, but there's going to be 2 on that B site likely anyway. They're going to move back very slowly. Still going to be 1 on that other side. Pretz does have that B side. It's going to be a 1-on-1 if Pretz decides to invest. There's a wall right there as well. Pretz should notice it.
I like this rotate through mid coming out for Monster as well, right? You get to see if anyone from the side of Baylor is going to. Stomp aggressive here on this A site. The smoke comes in, making noise, but Syracuse is going to be able to walk onto this site. Be careful of the Vice, though, as Mobuki is soloed out.
It's Mobuki versus the world right now. Monster gets 1. Monster goes down, though. Mobuki gets caught by Kings. It's a 3-on-3 now. Orange lose their advantage. Drago going to plant. Going to be up to them versus the world. Pretz gets 1 kill here. Kings goes down. 3-on-2. 12-12 overtime. What do you have in the clutch?
Stomp.
What's left in the tank? Drago gonna watch as Leno pushes forward, goes down. Drago loses, and that's the advantage gone again for the orange. Back one side, Stomp. They know he's there. Stomp goes down to Derry. It's the captain. 1-on-2. Nade comes out, does a very little amount of damage to the captain. Back once more. Pretz pushing forward, and Pretz goes down. A tough round for the orange. 13-12. Baylor trying to force game 3.
Yeah, I mean, now Carson, right? Sudden death, and, you know, we've seen overtime before in Valorant, but keep in mind, right, both sides get to attack, both sides get to defend, and it just goes back and forth until one team wins on both sides in a row. So, Syracuse now, they were able to kill out that operator, so that is something to keep in mind, right? As you see, Truth is able to buy, but a little bit on the cheaper side, right? Syracuse able to buy as well. That is the good thing for them here. Is now both these teams once more in a spot of sudden death. Syracuse at the disadvantage. No ultimates on either side as well.
We didn't talk about the format. It's 2 rounds. It's kind of like basketball. It's just 2 wins. If you tie again, you go back basically to 12-12.
Yep.
And you repeat. Baylor wins this, it's over. Syracuse wins this, they force another 2 rounds. Once more, Stomp gets BU Kings, but the teleport right there scares Ryan, and Truth gets stopped. Back one more, it's an equal in terms of players. Some heavy damage on Drago, who does teleport out, but not without getting unscathed. Not unscathed, excuse me. On right side, and Leno. Good ult, or good utility there against Drago, as Monster gets 1, but Monster goes down. 2-on-3, Orange back against the wall, trying to prevent the Baylor Bears from forcing game 3.
Yeah, 40 seconds here. You need 7 to defuse that spike here. Pretz looking. It's a 2-on-3. Is spotted. Will be Hobby. Throws out that nade. Finds the connect. Is able to find the kill. It's now 2-on-2 here, Carson, as Mobuki's going to get aggressive with that stun.
They have to just do anything they can right now. Moving forward, Mobuki through that smoke. Back forward, one sight. They don't know where Spike is. It's at the top. Leno goes down. It's the captain. Time expiring. Goes down, and the Baylor Bears force game 3. Midnight oil incoming as it's approaching 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we've got another hour to go, folks. Oh my goodness, what a round and what a job from the boys from Waco. Excuse me, from the players from Waco.
Yeah, I mean, this is it here, Carson. I mean, 27-16 from Leno, 20-21 from Truth, Stomp and Pretz, 23-17, 22-16, Drago, 21-17. I mean, 20 kills coming out from 3 of these players on the side of Syracuse, and you know, it really all of these rounds were just. I mean this in no disrespect, but we're messy and sloppy. I mean, it was just kill to kill to kill to kill, and it was always, you know, outside of those flawless rounds, if they weren't flawless, it was one player alive. That's really all it was here, Carson, and it shows that such an incredible amount that, like, you know, these trades are crucial, especially when you have teams that are so close in this skill level and can take these ones, and you have these powerful players like Pretz and Stomp and Leno and Trust, excuse me, and Truth, they can go hand to hand in these kills, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to be the one who comes out on top of those trades.
It's always one, and the Orange find themselves in a tough situation, as if Truth wasn't there, didn't have themselves a great game. Yep. Leno did. That's 27, 16, and 8 that you mentioned. That is a lot of assists. That is a lot of kills. Not a lot of deaths. This Baylor squad excuse me, a little bit held down. That's 3 players on the winning team with 20 deaths. Syracuse had no players with 20 deaths. That tells you just kind of how conservative and aggressive it is on that other side, as the Orange will look to Game 3 and try and find the way and try to get their ways corrected here as this one comes down to the wire. Been a really tough round for them, and they're going to have to figure it out on Split.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Split, a map that it's going to be interesting to see, but here you go, Carson. These players going to take a quick second, talk to External, talk to their coach. They've played a solid, we'll do the math on the break, but they played a lot of rounds there, folks, and they're going to take a quick break before getting into game number 3 against Baylor here, looking to bring themselves to a 1-4 in this PEC. But we'll have to see where that goes here, Carson. We're going to go on a quick little break, and when we return, we'll go to game number 3 between Syracuse and Baylor.
Hello and welcome back to upstate New York. We've got Game 3 after overtime in Game 2. Orange kind of roll over right there against the Bears in the very end. Turned to juice. We'll see what they can put together in Game 3 as they try and get rid of the Bears at this point in time as Truth and Leno. Boy, that has just been a 1-2 punch, hasn't it?
It really has been, Carson. You know, to top all of that off, 50 rounds in 2 hours. That's what these players are looking at here, and you know we don't really get much of a chance to talk about this, and it's something that I'm glad we get to touch on now, and it's the mental momentum, right? And that is something that is just brutal, especially in games like Valorant where you're going on. This game could go on for another hour. 3 hours total of Valorant here at high level, high stakes, and at minimum 63 rounds. If it's a 13-0, 63 rounds will have been played tonight here, Carson, and that is just a lot of Valorant to play, and you've got to stay locked in. You've got to stay good to go here. The Shine Game and Esports Center here, it closes at 10, and these players now have to fend off the night.
Yeah, and, they have that advantage right now because it's only 8 p.m. in Waco.
Oh, yeah.
They started this game at 6 p.m., got the dinner in probably right before game. But if they didn't get dinner in, they're starving right now. And that's
don't talk about
that's
dinner.
where the Orange are at this point.
Don't talk about dinner.
Don't talk about dinner? You not have dinner? Are you starving? You had that 8 p.m. advantage, man. That's on you.
Yeah, that's on me. That is on me. I went to go queue and play video games instead. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Common mistake. Not for me, though. I don't play video games. I'd still lie. Anyway, Syracuse looking to play some serious video games at this point. Needs to find a way to try and get rid of those silly mistakes.
Yeah, and that is sort of something to keep in mind here, Carson. I believe Split is going to be our deciding map here. And, looking for these trades, taking control of mid, really watching that flank, not getting overly passive, really. I mean, I was going to say overly aggressive because that's typically the issue with teams. But for this time around, overly passive. Baylor, They've been sort of not really playing the way we've expected. Obviously, you have players like Leno and Truth who have gotten to their aggressive play styles, and they've gotten really, really powerful and really good plays on them. But they really haven't been playing for that as a team, and that is something that Syracuse can really pick up on and something to really look for.
I love Split for the Orange. You have to imagine Syracuse played really well in close range. Did not on that far range. If I see, you saw what I saw, folks, bottom left of your screen. We'll talk about that if it happens, but I love Split. It's close quarters, it's narrow, it's vertical, it's everything you want out of a map that is close quarters. It's got depth, it's got range, and there's only 1 point on the entire map at A where you can really actually get like a kill from distance. Everything else is very close quarters, except a few other places, but the Syracuse Orange are playing the team comp of all. The team comp. All right. I'll just go with the team comp.
Let's lock it in here, Carson. Let's talk about this.
It's 2022. You just woke up.
Yeah, this is great. It's 2022 and Sage.
Vito,
Sage.
what are you talking about?
Sage is still a viable option here. Sage, Raze, Fade, Viper, and Omen here. Maboogie on the Omen, so a little bit different than what we've seen so far. I want to talk specifically here. Obviously, Viper really powerful on mid control here. Maboogie on the Omen, very powerful. The Fade and the Sage. Fade specifically, that Nightmare is a very powerful ability. That Eye gets you a lot of insight as well. You take a look at the Baylor side of things. Omen, Raze, Vice, Chamber, and Sky.
That's a much more, I would say it's more normal, but it's like...
Well, you got two characters that can heal.
It's like the test median being a 64 and you and your buddy got a 0 and a 32. There's a big difference there, but it's not even close to what's normal. Chamber is an interesting pick here. Chamber can enforce those longer portions of the map, those more narrow portions. I like that pick a lot, especially for Truth, who's done well with that operator. I'm surprised we haven't seen them on Chamber yet. But here, on Split, it's going to be a really tough task for the Orange here. As they're going to start on this defensive side, it's going to be really big on them to get a lead at this beginning side. Yeah. Right now with this comp, they're going to have that defensive side right now. It should be the advantage on the defense for them.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on is the Sage, and I'm sure we'll see it as the map goes on here, but the map control that this Sage can bring with that wall, with those 2 slows, that ice slow, something that is going to be really crucial on the rotates that Baylor is going to have to make, and Pret's a player that is just fundamentally a genius, right, knowing where to throw those and really sort of stop those rotates and make them difficult on top of the Viper control onto mid here. So something to keep in mind. Pretz already looks for this wall. It will be the one who controls mid, throws that wall up and says, nope, we're not gonna play this way.
Yeah, it's the beta version of Vise, if you will. Sage is extremely similar to Vise as Pretz goes down to Vise. Kings gets them with the Ghost. Turns them to a Ghost, moving back forward. Mobugi back on that other time. Truth gets Monster. That's a bad start for the Orange, and just bad luck there for Mobugi as no shots seem to land, and the right click earlier from Derry does them justice. 1-1 game tie if you're just tuning in. The Orange in the round 1 of this pistol round. Stop 1. Gets Truth.
On the flank.
Back on 4. Okay, they get 2 right there. It's 2 shots, 2 kills. Kings and Derry go down. Looking for the ace. Is Javi going to plant this defensive side for the Orange as they get it down on that A site.
This grenade being back is big for Stomp here. You don't have to wait for that cooldown. Well, so
Leno gets 2.
Yeah, Leno on the flank. Both raises one on the flank, and Leno was the one that I was able to pick that one up. And, I mean, this is going to be something to keep in mind. I mean, we talked about Truth being on this chamber. One thing I really want to touch on here with this chamber is, you know, with that shotgun, wow, excuse me.
Hold on, I'm not meaning to cut you off. There is 4 force buys on that other squad right now.
I mean, you've got the kills, right? So you can do it. The only one who can is going to be Javi. And it's like, if you're going to get the kills, you might as well. And Truth has that really powerful one-shot with with basically the better Sheriff. And we'll have a better operator later on as well. And that is something that's going to be crucial for Truth to be able to use, as well as that teleport away. Truth finds Drago immediately. That is 1 controller down for Syracuse, and that's mid control practically gone.
Mobugi gets Truth, but Leno gets Pretz in the middle. Javi gets Mobugi, and it's just gun advantage. Now it's going to be even better for round 3 for the squad if they can find a win, but that's a pick from Stomp, and they have themselves a little something going. It's not the gun they would hope to pick up. It's still a 2-on-3, and the Orange have a gun and a Sheriff.
Oh, the Vice.
It's the Bulldog pushing forward. Kings moving, not looking the right way. Doesn't know that there's one behind. Maybe made a bit too much noise. Nade comes out, does big damage to Kings. But Stomp doesn't play that as they probably hoped. And it's a lack of a raise and a 1-on-3. I think you've got to save maybe here. I don't even know what you do because you need a gun next time, but you're not going to get it unless you get a kill.
I think you go in and you get the kills. I mean, they're Vandals and Phantoms coming out from Baylor, and you need to get them out of the game. So you need to go for a kill here if you can. Drops down, gets spotted by Javi, takes the fall damage, and goes down. 2 rounds goes to Baylor here, but that's what happened on Sunset too, right, Carson? I mean, these rounds 1 and 2, typically you lose round 1, you'll lose round 2. Round 3 is where things get even once more. Full buys for both of these teams here. Truth. There we go.
Yeah, the problem right now is for the Orange, if you are in a situation right now, Javi is saving, by the way, that light shield is so they can full buy probably an op next time. But the Orange just don't have what they want right now. I mean, it's a situation right now.
They're getting picked early.
If you lose this, you might go down 5-0 pretty easy.
Yeah. And that's really something to keep in mind here, Carson. I mean, you don't want to get yourself killed early, especially when you have that Sage and that Viper fall down early. But Drago able to find Truth. That's going to be really good for them to win this here. Keeping Pretz and keeping the Viper alive is going to be crucial for them to stay locked in on this mid site and not lose anyone here.
Derry hiding behind that Sage wall as it crumbles very slowly, backs off. Gonna be that slow out there, and again, the glue on the ground right now for Pretz as they back up once more. 2 split, or 3 split overall for the Orange. There's 3-on-1, 2 on the other. Gonna be a rotation with the advantage for the Orange as the Baylor Bears move over to that A site. Drago there. One of the few players as they rotate properly over. It's a 3-on-2 now rotation. They move the other way. Predict the rotate properly. 40 seconds. They get the shoulder peek. Drago knows. Wall comes out though. Is Drago annihilated? Ooh, is Drago nearly annihilated? Excuse me. That grenade back forward. Here could be it. Pretz goes down to Leno, trying to find a kill as Drago can't. That's a really big lack of 2 picks from Rare. Had to find something. Drago and Pretz can't. Monster up top, one of the 3. Shouldn't peek. Shouldn't peek. Wait for the team, my friend. He does, but can't get Leno in that longer end. Stop waiting in the wings. Moving forward, and that's just a tough out right there for the orange. Back once more.
Dog
get
comes
back
out.
into the corner. It doesn't get anybody.
Yeah, but Spike is down here, Carson. I mean, Syracuse, they just weren't able to find those picks that they needed. And now you're in a really, really rough spot to be able to retake this here on split.
Mabuhi gets one, but can't get the other. It was Kings that got him. Is Javi the last one? Nobody on the squad remaining at full health, but
Gonna save.
Stop just gonna have to stave off the lack of cash and save.
Yep. No one dies to that spike there, though, Carson. And you know, with that, Syracuse goes down 3 rounds, and that's not what you want to see, right? You lose round 1, you lose round 2. The forced buy for both teams on that, or not forced buy, but that full buy on round 3 from both of the teams, and you end up losing that one, right? And that's not great to see, especially because now everyone on the side of Syracuse is going to have to buy a Sheriff and a Light Shield, and on this thrifty round, and you're down 3 rounds here on split on defense, and this is hard to bring yourself back to. And if you're Syracuse, this is what I was talking about, right? You've played 50 rounds, you're now on 53 rounds, and you have to be able to not make these small mistakes that we saw a few times at the start. Stomp going to get aggressive here. Showstopper out. Drago finds one. The Showstopper does not find the connect, though. Stomp using a lot of util here, trying to stay up. And not quite out of this one yet here, though. Carson is going to get a little aggressive as they're a little bit forward, but Truth finds Pretz once more, and this Sage is not able to find this value that Pretz is trying to get from it. On the ropes, Monster finds Truth and sends them down and gets the Vandal in return.
They're anything but on the ropes at this point, as they did get him there. Either way, pushing back forward, Drago waiting in that middle wing, could be down 0-4 if they don't find a way to get this thrifty right here. Stomp has a gun from their kill. Kings gets one, but Monster gets the trade. Very good start for the Orange. Just need to get rid of one more, but not everybody has a weapon. Well, a full weapon. Sheriff with that bubblegum Death Wish skin back forward. Smoke comes out, and Monster gets 3. Good work from the freshman to keep the Orange away from 0-4, back to 1-3. Baylor's record before the game.
Yeah, and this is good here right now, Carson, right? You were able to find those kills on that thrifty. Crucial as well here as you're able to get these guns back and not have to force the buys for many of the individuals here. Pretz, though, just not having really the time that he wants here. 0-4 at the moment, right? I mean, this is just not typical for players like Pretz here. And, you know, with this Sage Viper setup, you have a lot of control, a lot of map control, especially on this B site, this mid site. You have the Viper and the Omen, which have a lot of map control, but they just haven't been able to find this like true value because frankly Baylor hasn't been forcing themselves through mid. If they have, they've been sort of teasing some util but not really rotating through, and that's where, you know, this Sage Viper can really not get the value that they want, as we're going to see a push onto B site here.
Back one's 2, Pretz gets 2, there we go, that's that Sage value we're hoping for. Mabuhi gets 1 before they go down to Derry on the headshot. Monster moving forward, trying to find a way to get involved here. They back off after that 3K last round. Updated a little bit PEC matches. We get a little bit of a break in the action. Kansas goes down 2-0 to the Boise State Broncos. They keep themselves at 4-0 and ahead of the rest of the competition now as they take the lead over Ohio State in the standings. Anyway, Drago here sees one. They think that
Whoa!
They were waiting. What was Javi looking at? I did not even know what to say. None of that made any sense. As Javi teleports away, has Spike on the run and gonna heist their way over to A with that one they stole.
Yeah, I mean, trigger discipline was good, but wasn't able to find Javi. Gets him down to 27 HP, though, and Javi not going for the spike plant. Gonna watch this here. Stomp needs to just see a quick peek there. Loses themselves, though. Able to take down the eyes from the Fade there. Going to sight. It's a 2-on-1, but it's really just a headshot, one shot, and done for Javi here. So they're gonna look for, you know, basically everything we can. Look for these isolated kills. Pretz gets stomped just to try to secure this round, and a really well play from them as well.
I forgot Sage can revive people somehow, as I have not seen a Sage in over a year.
It's been a while.
Almost no PEC Sage last year.
Yeah.
Back forward. It's going to be Monster and Pretz pitching in. Here comes the jump from the Rays. Monster gets Javi, and they just have to defuse. Good job from the Orange right there. 1-3, turns to 2-3. As someone's got to defuse. We're getting a little close there, but Orange will keep it. 12 seconds remaining on the clock. It wasn't that big of a deal. But the Baylor Bears find themselves now 2 rounds in a row lost after winning 3 straight themselves. Orange on that round 4. You cannot really mention how big that was. They win in round 5 because of it, and now they are one round away from forcing a thrifty if they can win this one and repeat 3-0 that the Baylor Bears did.
Yeah, and you know, you get a little scared. Pret's going to have the operator, by the way. You get a little scared because you've seen Syracuse lose a map, and then they sort of just start to crumble a little bit, and crumble, excuse me, and it's scary, right? Because you see Baylor go up 2 rounds in a row. You go, or 3 rounds in a row, you get a little scared. Tour de France is going to show up, but Pretz is going to take down Kings.
The Tour de Force, isn't it?
Yeah, about to say it's Tour de Force.
Tour de France is the bike race.
It is, yes. Yes, it is. And I realized that as I said it. Mabuki goes down to Javi, though. Chamber still has this out, and I believe is walking onto B, excuse me.
Back in that other site, they back up. Stomp manages to get away with no damage taken right there. Pretty interesting. Both raises on both sides, kind of at the exact same health. Monster pushing forward. Forcing against pushing forward as Pretz goes down to the Tour de Force. It's Derry and Lato in that other's end. Javi gets spiked down, but immediately gets caught by Stomp, but a trade. Drago gets Truth with that Tour de Force, and they cannot do more damage there. Viper trying to find anything there, realizes they're alone. Lato has that rocket and gets it. Looking the wrong way, Drago could not run fast enough and got nailed. And now back to a thrifty for the Orange.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ults used, though, from Baylor, right? Both Leno and Truth ended up using those and finding value with both of them. But something that is really, really good for Syracuse here is, you know, they don't have to worry about those. A lot of sort of AoE damage and then one shot with the slow. It's a little scary. They do have Nightmare. That is something that I think is going to be really crucial for Syracuse for a retake if needed, as well as the Pit from Viper. So they'll be able to control mid if they so choose. So for Syracuse here, looking to make something happen here, get themselves back into a, you know, not 2-round deficit, as they really can't get themselves out of this sort of rut right now, as Pretz knows there's some engagement coming through mid and looking for something here, but has not quite found anything yet.
Back on that other end, it's going to be just 2 in that B site for Pretz, who has to kind of wait towards that middle site with 2 remaining down there as one rotates to the sky. Back force, they're trying to force B. They go back once more. Pretz sees one there with that Sheriff. Can't get anybody, but Mobugi going to get Javi in that other end. As Truth gets Mobugi, and that top end continues the dominance with that operator. Derry gets Stomp and makes a treat out of him once more. Pretz pushing forward. It's dangerous. Gets one with the Sheriff somehow, some way, but Leno picks them off. As Monster's forced to take damage from that razor wire. 2 on 3. Orange do not have the gun advantage, but they do have the ult advantage.
Yep.
You might want to try and use it here because things are going to go from bad to worse right here as half your team forced that round. Leno gets spiked down, and now it's up to the Orange to defuse. They peek twice through mid, and they head into tower as a group. It's the Viper.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Wait.
Really?
What? Did I miss something?
Oh, Truth goes and gets Drago on that other end. Be curious. We thought there was one coming up that back end.
I mean, with this, I mean, you have Nightmare. I think you should have used it a little bit earlier. You probably would have been in a better spot, right, knowing where the entirety of Baylor is. Truth able to find that final kill. And, I mean, you don't have that that chamber up anymore, but now you've got your own operator that you've bought. And Syracuse down 3 rounds. External goes to the timeout here. I mean, Syracuse, this is rough for you. I mean, right now you've just not been able to find the value that you really want, and it's been difficult because you're finding the kills, right? I mean, you look at this right now, 7 kills from Stomp. Monster's got 4. Actually, everyone else has 4, right? So you're not doing bad per se, but Leno and Truth 8 kills respectively, or each, I should say, and it's just been very difficult. I mean, you're having these good plays, you're getting these 2Ks, but you're just not able to find that value to really win at the end. And at the end of the day, right, Baylor has been winning these messier fights and keeping themselves a little bit further up, having 2 or 3 members alive instead of the sort of that one-on-one. And it's been a little bit hard for Syracuse because they haven't been able to really get the value that they've wanted, especially out of this Viper Sage composition. They haven't been able to really maximize it. On top of the Viper and the Omen, they haven't really been controlling the map as much as they really can with this double controller. And you have this double duelist composition coming out from Baylor, and they're sort of just running it down and getting value, right? Killing off players like Pretz, or killing off players like Drago really early on, or Mabugi early on, and you lose so much of that control that this composition brings for Syracuse.
Yeah, Syracuse down 3 right now, 5-2. Can have a full buy though this time. They had to force last time, but got enough eliminations for the right players so that it went well. Only 2 that force. Teleport back from Truth. Back forward as Pret's going to put that wall up. It's not going to do much there as they're just going to shoot it down. Back forward, Drago gets rid of the dog at mid. They back up into the ropes.
Oh, the mid
towards
control.
Vent as they get stuck right there. Leno gets Drago in that corner. And the Baylor Bears continue that trend of winning ones. And especially on a map like Split, it's a good pick by the Bears, who are just going to continue how good it's been for them. Oh, Truth says hi to Pretz. They go through once more, and that is not enough for Truth. They go down. Pretz gets 2.
Spike.
That's what they need right there. Spike goes down in that other end. Back forward, Mabugi gets 1 more. Pretz has themselves 3. Derry trying to push against Stomp, who throws that down, and Mabugi gets there. Pick that round, and 3-5 for the Orange. That went really well, really quickly. Pretz got 3 in the blink of an eye in that little attacker end. But not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you don't really expect that to be where the Sage plays, because that's not, I mean, it's not really where she's supposed to play, right? But you know, it gives Pretz, a player who is just so mechanically talented, the ability to take those ones, or in that case, take that 1v2, and get both those kills, right? I really do. I'm worried about where Drago is going to end up using this ultimate, because when we're now seeing a little bit more aggression through mid, and you can use that pit to control it and just deny any aggression, but Drago does back up a lot and sort of keeps themselves alive, which is good, but you aren't able to control that mid as much anymore.
It's kind of one of those situations where they're looking for the best that they can in terms of ult. They're looking for maximum value all the time, but sometimes that's not going to be affecting 4 players at once, and the Orange team needs to learn that when to use their ults. There's been multiple situations where you should just press X, give yourself an advantage, but they're about to get to 5 ults, which in round 8, you should not be there. That is not a place you want to be.
Yeah.
But despite this section here, you're talking about how well Baylor's used them. Truth's going to lead the charge, and Stop goes down, gets headshot. Pretz manages to escape in the nick of time. Has that revive, back once more. They throw down that slow, and they go back once more. Mabugi gets 1 in the form of Truth. That's what they need. Mabugi gets 2. Fighting more, Mabugi gets 3. Back in that other end, Pretz shoots through the smoke, and Mabugi turns the tide the other way as Pretz through the smoke. Some good luck, and the Orange find themselves 2 after the timeout. Some good calls, I'm sure, there.
Yeah, very, very good from them, and putting themselves back up in this series. 2 rounds here, only 1 behind Baylor, so a lot better than how things really started. Their 3-round loss and then a 2-round loss there. And, you know, one thing that to sort of mention to your point earlier, Carson, is 5 ults, right, as you're going into round number 10. And this is interesting, right? I mean, you look at Baylor, every time they've got 1 or 2 ults, it's like they're comboing them in a sense, and they're just sort of using them as they get, and that's something that we haven't really seen from Syracuse, and you have a lot of power with this, right? I mean, the res was used with a showstopper, you got Nightmare, you have a pit, you have a teleport. I mean, there's so much that you can really do to stop the aggression from Baylor, and I'm curious to see if we're going to see that, or if Syracuse is going to look to use it more for post-plan.
See what they can do here. So you mentioned that. You have to hit X at some point. You can't just keep holding on to it unless it keeps working, but it's just, it typically is going to be a situation where you're going to find yourself down and you're not going to use your ult to your advantage, and they really should here. If I'm Stomp, I'm just going to try and get aggressive here with the peek. It's Truth right there, and that's exactly what they think. Truth right there, they're pushing forward. Rocket Fuse coming out. Gets Truth with enough damage on that Phantom initially. It's going to leave Truth exposed, and they get caught. Way too far from that missile, but they still get down anyway at half health. Back once more, Mabugi had that 3K last time, trying to get more in this single life. As a Phantom, typically a Phantom player. Back once more, Mabugi gets 4 in the life, but goes down. Stop gets 1 more in the unbelievable trade right there. Stop throws a nade up there and gets Leno as well. 3-1, the Orange trade well, find a way to get another, and still do that, but Kings gets Pretz. And things might get a little dire right now for the Orange. They've really struggled in these clutch situations, even with advantages. Prowler expires. Monster can't really figure out where one is. Haunt gets destroyed, but Drago gets rid of Kings. Just like that, the Orange have themselves back in a tie. After being down 3, they needed that one as we enter round 11.
Yeah, a great little reset and a great little sort of coaching figure coming out from external there to get them in this momentum once more. 3 rounds given to them, and now they're back at an even playing field here, Carson. And, you know, worst that can happen now is you go into the half 7-5, and that's not a bad place to be. But Syracuse has the opportunity to go into the half 7-5 in their favor. So really something they can look out for. I like the showstopper early here. This Nightmare is going to be really crucial if if Baylor can get onto site. Nightmare should be used just off cooldown. I believe that is going to put them in a really, really good spot. Drago could also get aggressive with the pit and force the rotate over onto B site if they so choose. So something as well to keep in mind. No one is going to be spotted, though. It looks like Baylor is going to look for a hard B push through the garage. Or, excuse me, that's not B, that's A. As Stomp is able to find Leno immediately from that trade.
Back off top, Stomp gets one, as we mentioned. As Truth gets another and for Mobugi, that's a trade in the other end.
There's the
Truth has Vandal and still decides to use the Tour de Force, despite them being on the Thrifty next round if they lose, but I guess just trying to force the issue and win this time around. Back forward as Truth gets one more in the form of Drago. Has 3 guns, just gotten a kill with almost all of them, just needs the operator.
There,
and
yep.
Truth's got the triple crown, not the one you're hoping for if the Orange, and Stomp is in a weird spot right now, so we'll see what goes on. Still remaining on that other site, Stomp waiting on the bottom. As Truth's not there to peek it right now. Dog comes out. They do see it, and it's just a tough situation. Poor timing for Stomp, who has to peek there, try and find some value, but cannot do it. Pretz with the operator. Truth right there, and Truth gets the 4th. The Baylor Bears in real position right now, 6-5. Orange can only tie it at the half. As round 3 is cruising pretty quickly for a Valorant game, but it's not feeling too good right now if you're a Citrus fan.
Yeah, and Truth now picked up that operator that Pretz had that last round. I mean, both teams on that full buy. I mean, not a worry coming out from either one of them. I mean, you're at 50 creds if you're a Stomp, but you've got the money to buy out to that full shield. So both teams fully even playing field, except for the fact that Syracuse has 4 ultimates and 2 for the side of Baylor here. And I mean, if you're Syracuse, you got to use them now or you don't use them at all, right? I mean, that's how this is going to work here, Carson. And I really want to see more aggressive plays with these ultimates. I know you're on the defense, and I know that's, you know, you want to put yourself in a better advantage, but Viper's Pit used in mid. Okay, there's going to be no mid rotate now, and this is not bad, but it's like the one time that they're not going to push through mid. They're going to start to push through A, and they're already on site here, Carson. Nightmare could be really useful once that plant goes down.
Stomp gets Leno back up once more, trying to push forward. Stomp pushes himself a little bit with that one. Moving back forward, there's 2 there in that little area, but they can't get anything there. Tower now remaining where the last 3 Orange are. Derry somehow got 2 in that excursion, and it's just nothing, but you have to be upset at that one. Orange feel like they should have gotten more out of that. Truth nearly gets another with that operator. Truth gets them with that revolver instead. Drago gets one, and Derry goes down, but Pretz gets Monster back up. Says, come on, we gotta go, freshman. More time awaits us. Primary gets jammed on that Visalt. Bomb down, it's ticking. Very close to the end right now. Orange have to move forward. They're waiting for that to expire. Good stall from Baylor. They have to defuse. Javi knows that. Kings and Javi get one. They push through the smoke, and the Orange with the advantage get stunned by the Visalt. What a play from Baylor. Exactly what they need in the Orange and the half with 3 ults.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Pretz was forced to go over to Monster there and get that revive off. The Nightmare does come through, but using that just a little bit earlier was going to put Baylor at that disadvantage. They weren't going to be able to start that fight off with the Vice ultimate, but instead they were able to, off that revive, the Nightmare really just forced them back, but Syracuse couldn't really engage. They only had primaries, and, you know, that primary versus the Nightmare, it's not really in your favor if you're the team that don't have your weapons, and, you know, Syracuse weren't able to find that value. They were forced to push on point fast because of that spike, and it just, you know, you hate to see that if you are Syracuse, as they are 5-7 going to the attacking side here, Carson.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not what you want to see. Find that way finally back, down 2-5. Find it at 5-5, and cannot get themselves back after that. They go down 7 to that mark right there, and you just have to imagine now with only, I guess, 8 rounds to go, excuse me. You have to find a way to collect yourself if you want to win this one.
Yeah.
Back on site, starting once more. Good
Great
start right there. Pretz gets their first K. immediately. Mobugi gets another. Pretz did not get their first kill until round 5 initially. Back on that other end, there is now rotation from Baylor from the B to the A site. Pretz planting now on that section at A.
Oh,
Mike goes down in a fancy little move right there. Goodness me, what just happened? A flawless for the orange. Hardcore parkour. Up on top of that Sage. As that's an orange round win, as I did not expect that to occur as fast as it did, but Baylor's aggression works entirely against them right there with a little replay, because you missed it and I missed it. It went like the wind right there.
Bippity boppity hoppity over the Sage wall and off
so
the
many words for jump you've got today.
Well, you know, you gotta have some fun with it here, Carson. I mean, you know, we're looking at I'm not gonna do that math. That's a lot of work. That's 13 rounds here that have been played, and that's a total of 63. 63 rounds have been played so far.
Wow.
We just missed that high five.
You guys don't have camera right now, but I just got struck. Stomp and Pretz get one. The captain followed by another senior there on that other end moving forward. Stomp and Pretz, the only seniors right now on this roster. Woo! Derry gets one in the form of Monster. Drago and Stomp get one themselves. Whoa! Turn that one off at the TV at home, folks, as the Orange find themselves another .77. Stomp gets Kings. And things are getting heated here down the stretch. Yeah,
Syracuse, they want this. I mean, they really, really want to win this here, Carson. And as they're able to do that, they put themselves 7-7 even as they win both those rounds, putting them in a pretty good spot on this defense. But do keep this in mind. They were down 2 rounds on Sunset as they went to the defense. They were able to win 4 in a row, and they lost in that overtime. So you've got to be able to keep this sort of momentum in your favor. It's getting late. You're 64 rounds in now. You're going on 65. This is a lot of Valorant that you've played, and this could easily go into another overtime, which is just going to be very, very difficult for this team to really, for both these teams to be able to sustain themselves through. Pretz takes some fire on mid, where Truth has been holding, which I did want to mention earlier, having that top fragger. Speaking of, Drago goes down now. Pretz looking into here, just timing as the smoke goes down. Leno finds Pretz 3-5. Stomp finds a trade on to Kings. Grenade goes out. Doesn't find the connect.
Oh, Stomp says hello and can't say goodbye just yet. They move forward together. Monster and Stomp. Monster gets rid of Javi. Back up top, they've evened it now in terms of player count. 3-on-3. As we're playing threes, 2-on-2. Just kidding, we're still even. Truth goes down in that top end. Monster with the Guardian is a absolute, and I'm going to say it, monster.
Cute, Carson, cute. Spike in the favor of Syracuse here as Mobugi rotates on through their own spawn here. Looking over onto A site. No one from the side of Baylor has rotated yet, but we could have a little bit of a scuffle here in ropes. Derry falls down to Monster, and that's great for them. Might be able to find Leno here, but it's going to look right. Smoke is down from Mobugi. They're going to get the plant down. This is what you want to have for Syracuse. Do not give ones to this player, though.
It's a little late, but we'll see what they can do. They've got a good squeeze going on. Mobugi, they know where they are at. Leno, Mobugi needs one bullet to take the Orange up one. 8-7, Orange have the first lead of the game once again, but this time, can they hold on to it? 3 in a row. It was 5 in a row last time, followed by 4 in a row for the Baylor.
Yeah, Bears. This is going to be difficult for them, right? But 18-11 from Stomp. Mobugi second right now at 12-9. 16-13 for Truth, but 11-10 for Leno. These teams are almost perfectly in sync with their top players, and it is easy to see here. I mean, some great plays coming out from Syracuse all night. There have been really good gun plays, but at the end of the day, it comes down to typically that final one, or those final 3 players, final 4 players in the lobby, and it comes down to only 2 or 3 alive. There can only be one as Drago finds Truth.
That's a pick you need right now in this later section of the game. Down the stretch, Drago gets another as Kings, not sure why they did that, goes down and Mobugi gets them. Leno gets Mobugi, though, and then now it's a 3-4-2 advantage, for the Orange, as 3 go down for the Bears, and Mobugi goes down for that SU squad. Monster gets 1 for the Cuse, as Leno goes down, and they rotate slowly towards A. Monster has been so good with that Guardian, I'm going to say it all day.
Yeah.
Legitimately only warmed up with the Guardian, it felt like. I mean, I guess if you're going for one taps, that's the one to use.
The gun to go.
I mean, it's the Vandal, but still an Oko headshot, full armor. Pretz back off
it's
now
a cheap gun
after
too,
that. Is it?
It's a cheaper gun, yeah.
I know it's cheaper. I know it's cheaper. I thought you said it isn't a one-shot headshot. And I was like,
no,
what do they do to my beautiful game?
It's a cheaper gun, which is nice to use as well. Spike goes down as there's a smoke. Javi through the rafters here. Stomp forces them out, sees them, takes the head off, and 9-7. Syracuse, you've been in this identical spot, literally identical to last map. Stay in the momentum. Do not give this back to the side of Baylor. Truth buys the operator here a full buy for the rest of their play. Excuse me, not a full buy for the rest of their players. Javi, 7-12 right now, is forced to buy a Bulldog and Light Shield, so that is a player that not able to really even things out. But Syracuse here, they can keep the momentum. Stomp does have that showstopper, and it would be really good for them to make sure that they can keep that momentum for themselves, maybe use early and find an early pick. But with this, Syracuse looks through mid early here. Could be a B push on the site. Showstopper out and finds one. Stomp with a great kill started off, but will be traded by Derry.
What a good start for Stomp. Just nailed it in that other end. Mobugi gets another 9-7. We mentioned just how important this one could be. Back once more, Monster gets Javi. Trying to get rid of it as Kings goes down. Mobugi, they lose Spike over that other side. Monster gets Kings with the wealthy man's force. Trying to push forward into that other end. Monster getting over as they throw down Spike here. It's a 3-on-1. The Orange have lost this before. Need to find a way to change your habits. All season long, it's been such a difficulty. 9-7. This is a must-win match. This is a defining game for you if you're the Orange. You need to find your identity, and this is it here in the clutch. Pretz, shoulder peeks, nobody there. Can't see him. As Truth stands up top. It's the best player right now for the Baylor Bears. He's been on a roll all night.
Wow.
Hits Pretz for a combined 66 back up top. Pretz goes around that other end, and Drago gets rid of Truth. False, my friend. 10-7. Orange have themselves 5 in a row again. But can they prevent the 4 rounds from Baylor?
The Truth has set Baylor free for a map. Can they do it one more time? 16-15, but 20-12 from Stomp, a player who is just on fire right now and looking to keep that going. A teleport and the revive available for Syracuse. 10-7. This is a lead that they want to keep, a lead they want to continue going forward into this, and also forcing the Thrifty from the side of Baylor. If they can win this, it'll be wonderful for them. Carson putting them at 2 rounds from victory and taking this series and taking their first win of the PEC.
Back once more, Drago now has 4 in this life as Javi goes down. Way too close for comfort for Drago. They push through the grenade, back forward, get one, trying for another. Drago has 3, moving forward, looking for just a little more. Kings on the rope, they hear it.
4!
What a shot! Drago moving forward now, looking for that ace, but they're not going to force it. They just want to win. The Orange squad knows that. It's Truth again. Can Drago silence them? 2 in the chamber, dropping down ropes. Drago hasn't have the bullets. Jumping down with the classic. It's an ace! Bang! Orange 6 in a row. Down 7-5 at the half. Victory in the sights of the Citrus.
Drago with the ace, 11-7 here, Carson, and this is great for Syracuse. They're keeping that momentum in their favor. They're running away with it, and they cannot get ahead of themselves here now, Carson. I'm telling you right now, External could look for a timeout going into round 12 if they win this here. Take a second. Keep that momentum, but don't over-excel. Don't get overzealous on yourself. You have some ultimates. An early Nightmare could be really, really good coming out from this fade to secure that site and get aggressive. You have that revive as well. Tour de Force going to be used by Truth, though. It's been a menace all game here, Carson.
Truth splits 2 between Pretz and Stomp right there, and that is a rough shot that they want back. 7 ults possibly in play this round. As they move under the way, Spike has been left behind that B site there. It's something to watch, but the Orange are going to rotate back likely here. Not going to full push B, or it will be Stomp that walks back into it. Once more, Drago is just there. Javi gets rid, or goes down, excuse me. As Drago, the freshman, keeps that pressure on. Has had such a good night tonight.
Oh.
Stop comes out, doesn't do much of anything. Mobugi gets Truth, though. It's a big win as another ult goes down for that squad, but Kings gets the trade. 4-on-3, Orange pushing forward. Kings gets 1, but now back to that trade again. Kings goes down. Big jump from Stomp as they head their way back towards Spike. Good job from Stomp, excuse me. And that's not going to cause them too much trouble, as the rotation's still going to happen anyway, as if Spike is going to be planted. So they're still getting aggressive there on that other end, and Monster's in the right place in the right time. Leno checks the wrong corner. Drago gets Derry. My goodness, 12-7. Orange are a round away from preventing the reverse sweep.
This could be it, Carson, right? They have the money. They're able to buy. They've got ultimates in their hands, forcing this from Baylor, right? That operator bought from Truth. No shields for Leno. I'm curious to see if they're going to go for a cheaper buy for the shields. Bulldog and Light, Vandal and Heavy, Bulldog and Heavy came out from the rest of these players here. Syracuse is in a really good spot. It looks like Leno's going to stick with the Vandal, no shields. Syracuse has 4 ultimates compared to the 3 from Baylor. They do have those dogs from Sky, so something to be aware of, as well as the primary jammer from the Vice. So a lot of ults for Baylor that they can win this. Syracuse, take a breath, and you can bring yourselves to this victory.
Orange has many rounds won in a row as Baylor has rounds won. 12-7 lead for Citrus. The Cuse looking to find a way. Derry gets Drago. Stomp gets Derry, but Leno gets Stomp, and that's where the ult Rez comes back in. Sage, big impact right there. Back to 4 as the Orange have themselves an advantage again. Pushing forward, they know that there's one back there. Pretz looking through it. Javi looking the wrong way. Truth up top. Javi Truth goes down. Monster gets rid of it. The freshman. A minute remaining. 1 left, and down go the Bears. The Orange have found their first win of the season. It's a start. What a job! You love to see the identity, the clutch from this Syracuse squad. What a win!
70 rounds later, Carson. 70 rounds and almost 3 hours straight of Valorant. Stomp 22-13. Drago 19-11. Mabugi, someone who came from this sub spot and is now one of those main players on this team and has performed phenomenally. Syracuse, you know that feels good for them, bringing themselves no longer winless in the PEC, showing a lot of good plays from themselves, a lot of good gunplay, a lot of good team play. External coming past the booth. Extremely happy for this team. Some great changes, some great play. And if you're Syracuse, this is exactly how you want to continue the rest of your season.
Absolutely. It's Kings and Derry and Javi who are going to have a stern talking to from the upper parts of their team. Truth held under 500 or under a 1 KD for the first time twice the entire season. And that is a rough blow for Baylor to just get kind of demolished like that. Every single member of Baylor under 500. It's a negative KD for everybody, and it's just something you love to see. It really is a feel-good moment to watch the squad. You can't see it right now. Or not you can, excuse me. It's excitement all around here, and you love just to see that. I'm very curious how they're going to approach next week, though. This squad takes on Minnesota down the road, and we'll have to see how they do there.
Yeah, so not too shabby at all from Syracuse. Very well played from them, and it feels good. You know, everyone out there, the manager, the coach, right? Some people in the audience as well sitting in the center. I mean, everyone is happy to see this. Our competitive director, Travis Yang, is also out there. Very, very happy about that win, and, you know, it's well-deserved. I mean, this team is newer. This team is getting value, and this team is sort of changing things, and they, at the end of the day, managed to find this win, and that is what you want from this team, and incredibly well done from them, and very proud of how these players came out. They made some changes, made some adjustments, they made some good adaptations as well, but at the end of the day, they did a really good job overall, and you can't deny this, right? You cannot deny that the Syracuse team that we've seen has made some good changes and overall has made honestly a change for the better for their team, and that is what matters, right? And now Syracuse, they have that chance to go 4-4 for this half of this semester and keep themselves at a 0.5 going forward at the end of the semester, Carson.
1-4 for the Orange, 1-4 for the Baylor Bears. Syracuse now moves up to 7th in the standings, and that will be the end here from upstate New York, but don't go anywhere just yet. Syracuse Rocket League squad is taking on the Bruton Parker Barons in losers finals of the CRL matchup. They're looking to extend that midnight oil and try and find a way into the CRL. Go watch Tiz, Lesser, and Gababy as their season really comes down to the wire right now. Thank you very much for watching, and from upstate New York, I've been Carson Cass with Ryan Blankenhorn. Thank you very much, and good night.